Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. And it's been a busy week. It's been a good week. Rewarding, I have to say. Everybody's having those ups and downs at the moment, aren't they? You know, one moment you're full of beans and proactive and wanting to do anything to offset the boredom. And then the rest of the time, you're just wanting to nap and, you know, just slob out. Both is fine. Yeah, take the rough with the smooth. We were talking about this on Kate's stream recently, and you know, take the time. That's all you need. You know, you'll be productive at one point. Just, you know, allow yourself to have the rest and cope with various isolations and quarantines and things like that as you can. And until then, we will be here doing various crazy one-shots and other such things. And don't forget to follow a lot of our allies as well. I've listed them below. We've got a couple of extra widgets below now. And some of our wonderful friends who stream, many of which are actually in the stream already, are available. And there's many more besides. Previously on the Benefactor, we watched as the party went for a little bit of an outing, now capable of using teleportation circles. They went to the University of Ostergald, jumped into a teleportation circle with their historian, Garrett, their archaeologist, Jacob, and their crazy bard friend, Bidbar Badum, and shot off to the exotic island nation of Austria, specifically to the city of Naruka, literal translation, Den of the Naru. This home to the Naru tribe of Tabaxi, the rest of the Tabaxi being largely xenophobic, are great travelers and explorers. They get this form of wanderlust that current Eclipse of the Moon, one of our players, played by Korean, is out doing her wanderings. And her obsession of Juradan the Great starts to become a little more understandable when you meet the rest of the Tabaxi Naru. They first of all went to this beautiful grand temple, which is actually a subterranean vault and museum containing historical artifacts and some powerful artifacts from all over Ilaria throughout the various periods of history. The Naru have always had this kind of pride in being able to bring this stuff back to Naruka and have it on display to show the great many journeys that they've been. They have a wonderful welcome. May you find new horizons. Something that I've always thought is a lovely phrase. And also, I checked, is not part of anything that any Kijati in the Elder Scrolls has ever said. So, very, very happy with that. Made sure that I didn't end up accidentally plagiarizing. They also met, and we are going back to this scene now, Storm at Sea, Eclipse of the Moon's brother. And at the end of the last session, poor Farewell asked to look at some artifacts from the elemental plane of water, and in doing so ended up getting a fervent tale of the Crystal Palace of the Endless Sea. And immediately after that, he was there going, God, you can tell these two are related. The Tabaxi in general are passionate about going out and learning about the world, sometimes to their demise, but they consider the risks to largely outweigh the potential benefits of such adventures. Even if they do end up dead, the path there is so rewarding that it can be worth it. So, let's rejoin Glory, Eclipse of the Moon, Farewell, and Cora for episode 67 of The Benefactor. And we are back. Our viewers may notice that there's something different. If you have a look down at the bottom of the chat channel, you'll see the channel points have changed slightly. First of all, the channel points have been turned to chaos points with a chaotic neutral symbol. And there's a bunch of things that you'll be able to do on there. So there's things that you can buy for Star Wars games that you see on here. And there's things you can see for D&D. For 1,000 points, you can do level 1 spell slot, and then it goes up 2,000, 3,000 for level 2 and level 3 spell slots. I'm not going to let you give back level 4 spell slots. I'm not suicidal.
Sadness. All I want is unlimited acid balls. Is that too much to ask?
Seize the production of spell slots.
Well, I can get you back with the next two. So at 3,000, you can also, if any of the characters are at death saving throws, you can blow 3,000 chaos points to get them to pass a single death saving throw, giving them a better chance of survival.
Also, I need times. Thank you so much for the bits. Again, you're being so kind.
Yes, well, thank you.
Please continue throughout the stream as you did yesterday. We will happily. We will thank you properly at the break again. It's amazing.
Yes.
At 5,000, you can create a wild magic burst where you can type in the name of any character, and as long as it is a targeted wild magic, I will roll on the D100 wild magic table and apply it to them, just in case you feel that somebody deserves a little bit of punishment. Although some of them are beneficial, but you could turn them into a potted plant. So it's a good idea. At 10,000, we have heroic recovery. So that will allow the player of your choice to get a natural 20 on a death saving throw, which will bring them back into the fight with 1 hit point. Then at 2,000 and only 1 per stream, 20,000 and 1 per stream is a loop bomb, where I will use my app, which has all of the Horde rules involved in there. And I will roll that to get a Horde together, and I will drop it into the session where they will find at some point during the story. And at 30,000, we will gift you a free sub as well. Subscribers, we've only had a handful in the past, but they've enjoyed certain things. When you subscribe to this channel, you end up being given access to a particular room in the Discord that none of the others can get into apart from myself and the subscribers. And that's where I will be using the subscribers to help vote for and generally plot against certain plot points. So you'll be able to add into the story as you go along. And that can include choice of enemies, things along those lines as well. And then finally at 50,000, there is the Chaos Priest role. And that is a role of prestige. You'll be able to join Rattles as our first ever subscriber, given the role of Chaos High Priest, to be able to make certain things happen to certain characters. Not only will you get votes on certain plot points in certain sessions that are coming up, you will be able to have a vote on personal storylines for the different characters. So, have fun with that.
Again, I need times. Thank you. We're going to thank you as much as possible.
What was it? At the moment, it's roughly every other minute. So yeah, just every minute we'll be just there. Just thank you in character as well. So next time, Corinne's got to do it with the voice. Yeah. So
I need times. Thank you very much.
There we go.
So he's not going to do it now. You've already done it.
Well, no, we need to capture that soundbite and use that as the bit alert instead of the bring.
Yeah. Oh yes, we should. Thank you very much. We should have for different points.
Yeah, it should just be like, have you heard of the Heart of Duradan?
for different all of us, and
I was thinking
it's like the glorious glory thanks you, or something like that.
Not I.
Okay.
L needs time.
I see.
I did wonder because it looks like I needs times, but when I typed it in, it's an L. So
Yeah.
So yes, the maybe we'll do a soundbite of you saying something along the lines, "Thank you for the bits. May you find new horizons," or something. Yeah.
Yes, and for all of us. And then
We'll change them about or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh well, that's another thing for the list.
Yeah, I would just like to state, Simon, that I feel like Cora should have some sort of exception to this this channel points thing, because I only get 2 spell slots and they are level 5 right now.
Ooh, okay.
Which is not fair if I don't get them. Not fair.
Okay, we might do a warlock spell slot one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Who only has to take an hour to get all her level 5 spell slots back. Oh, what a hardship that life must be.
Yeah.
Shut up! I hardly ever use them because of that very reason. I just don't use them.
Yeah, which means they're not useful if you don't use them.
But if I knew I could get them back because I could, like, you know, because the chat likes me, then that's different.
You know, next time just take a nap while riding on Farewell's back.
Sure, yeah, get the carpet out, take a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Let me pack me on more people.
Big brother / party dad / pack mule. Works. It's kind of a side motion. Yeah, it's not promotion, but it's like a side motion. Yeah.
I already feel like I'm having to look after a bunch of toddlers. How is this any different?
Nap time.
Nick, you're a bit quieter than everyone else. If you can boost yourself in any way, that would be great.
No.
Okay, fine.
Short and sweet. Okay.
None of us care anyway.
You don't listen to me anyway, especially when I say no.
True.
Fair.
True. Why would we bother?
Anyway.
Right. So, we come back to Storm at Sea, both the Tabaxi that's just jumped on top of Eclipse and said, "Oh my God, you're in one piece," and immediately befriended Farewell, giving him a huge hug when it was revealed that it was Farewell that patches her back together. And he gave Farewell this story of the Crystal Palace as well. And you're getting an idea, Farewell, that Storm at Sea is actually a bard. When he went traveling, he picked up stories and items to do with those stories as well. He's incredibly well traveled. And where Eclipse is fixated on this one thing, drilling down and trying to get to the heart of something, staying in one place, he bounced around the place as much as he could, traveling all the time, constantly moving, never settling down in one place. And you can see that by the plethora of artifacts that's in his store. Now, clearly, he didn't pick them all up himself. The store is huge. It's packed to the gills. Tabaxi are coming in and reading little notes. You can see there's labels that have short stories on them attached to each item. And as Eclipse has pointed out as well, up on the walls are these strange bas-reliefs. I was trying to get the word last session, but I know what it is. It's wooden bas-reliefs that have been carved, and they've been carved by a mixture of blades and chisels, but very intricately as well, tabaxi claws. So you can see that the larger parts, the contours and fine details, are done with tools, but the texturing is different types of scratches. And this seems to be his own kind of art. You haven't seen this anywhere else yet. You've seen lots of different types of art, but not this strange cross-hatching of claws and such things. And you can see that Storm at Sea has got very kind of leathery hands. Other than that, he's incredibly well dressed. This all-white tabaxi with these piercing ocean blue eyes. He steps back and says, "So, you said that introductions were to be in order?"
Yes. So, these are my friends. So, you already met Farewell Barebones. He is a cleric of the Raven Queen.
Yes, I met many of your kind and went to many very interesting temples, all with the same aesthetic, but all very, very different.
Yes. And this is Cora, pointing down. She's a knight of the Fae Court.
And he looks at you with absolute fascination, bows incredibly low, and goes, "My lady, I had no idea I was in the presence of such finery. I have never been to the Feywild. It's one of the few planes of existence that I unfortunately did not manage to get into."
And this is Glory Teskakotl. I can say that. She's from Skalra.
Skalra, of course.
Yes, and her grandfather is a dragon, and I met him. He's very scary.
Oh, such an adventure! You are traveling.
Yes.
You are truly doing the travel of the Naru eclipse, and of course Teskakotl. And he gestures over to the piece of jewelry that I mentioned last session and says, "Of course, I know of your wares. I only spent a very small time in Telzaran, and only in one of the the coastal towns that I was allowed to visit. And you know that that's something that Freynier is very, very hot on. You can only visit certain towns."
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you very
would
much.
have
And
needed a
the
guide
time-
to reach the other ones.
Well, maybe if I can one day maybe impress on the connection that we have through my dear sister, maybe I could visit one of the other fascinating cities. I heard such stories.
Yes, I do think you would like the other cities. It is so beautiful over there. Right, Eclipse?
I mean, it's very pretty, but there's also very, very strange lands.
Of course, this is the whole point of us traveling to witness new cultures and learn their ways. Of course, whether we agree with them or not, is that not right, Eclipse? And he kind of looks slightly admonishingly at her as if to say, "I know what you've been up to."
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's a bard. He put two and two together when you said, "Oh, even if you don't, even if they're very different," it's like, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, oh God, you didn't." He is definitely more worldly than the rest of the Tabaxi that you've seen, whereas they have been very kind of very expressive. He was very expressive, and he gave Farewell a hug. But he's you can tell that the way that he talks, he's fascinated but not surprised by a lot of what you have to say. Excuse me. So, would you like to check out my wares, or maybe we could have some Camus? And Camus, you know, is like it's like a hot milk drink. And you could tell me some of your stories, or ask me maybe if you need any knowledge from the travels that I have.
I was thinking, is it storm or sea? His thing is, I think it's sea. Yeah. I was thinking sea. I was thinking if we could, if you have a moment, if we could go to our parents' house and all speak together.
Of course, Mother should be practicing by now. So yes, we can do this. And he gestures to one of the other members of his staff and says, "You look up today. I'm taking the rest of the day off," and throws a big bunch of keys at the assistant. The assistant gives a nod and he says, "Let's go." And with that, he sweeps past you and out into the street, and starts greeting a lot of people as he passes. He seems to have become an influential merchant in here.
Simon, as we're leaving the store, Farewell's still got all of those like jewels and crystal things in his hands, and he's sort of he's looking at them and kind of like idly sort of like following the group behind at the back. So they're not really paying attention. His entire focus is on what's in his hands at the moment.
Okay, so you've got a shard of the Crystal Palace, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, no problem. Did you pay for it last session? I can't remember.
No, I've not paid for it because no one's asked him to. He's literally got it in his hands, and he's just like everyone's started to leave. He's still looking at it, and he's just turns and just follows.
So no one challenges you when you leave. You are walking along with the proprietor, so you're technically walking with the shop.
see, do I notice this? Well, I assume it's pretty obvious, so...
It's farewell.
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying to hide it.
He is not in the slightest.
No.
He's
so Eclipse is
completely
just gonna
absorbed.
just turn to her brother. I think Farewell has gotten a bit interested in the shard. Just make sure if that he either gives it back or whatever you want him to do with it.
Mr. Bebrons, for your services to my dear sister, please consider what you have in your hand a gift.
I nudge him because I realize he's not even paying attention. You're being talked to.
When did we leave?
A while ago. But Mr. C said you could keep that.
Oh. Thank you.
Please.
For taking care of Eclipse.
Something from your heritage for looking after my own.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
It's fine. I've got about 20 of them. So,
At that, Farewell's just like, shh. For the rest.
How much for the rest? We shall come to that. I think they're around about 15 gold pieces each. I mean, they are. Unfortunately, as I say, there are many of them. If you go back to the plane of elemental water, however, they are just an interesting story here. Interesting story. He had 15 gold pieces. I sell one for every now and again. But for you, if you're going to buy all of them, I'll do them at 10 pieces each. So at 200 as a round gift, and that will fund an expedition to go and get some more. I have a couple of Horizon Walkers that would be happy to go back.
I'll think about it. And Farewell sort of slinks to the back again and just sort of keeps staring at his hands.
Yeah, sure. So you are walking through the streets, and you carry on going through the spice market into the den reaches, and this is the proper den of the Naru. And as he walks along, C says to you, so this place wasn't always a city, obviously, and very few cities started off as designed as cities. And so it used to be that there used to be a small town, and that was in a woodland, but it was kind of like a large oasis. And eventually, as the city grew, the oasis started to suffer. This is over many, many hundreds of years. And what was once a hidden temple became the Grand Temple, and then we had to build a giant wall around it, and then we put it around the city, and the city just made us, and then it looked like every other city. Now it's less natural, but still very much our home, and for many thousands of years, since before the New Order. In fact, it has always been. It is said that there are many parts of the Grand Temple that were changed as a result of the New Order, and they have documented evidence to show that some sort of transition took place. So it's very interesting. I would like to learn more about the New Order, but I've done my journey. My journey is over. So, but yes. So the place you're going into now is the old part of the city, very much the original den of the Naru, and we live right there in the ground that used to be the old town itself. So, yes, it is very good. Our home has been in the family many generations. So, you should see. He takes you to an old sandstone, kind of mixed in with adobe, house, and it's got a beautiful, rough but completely flat walled building with a small dome on top, which seems to again be kind of stepped up by bricks, and then they've kind of put this adobe dome over the top. There's a courtyard out front with some plants there. There's a couple of trees, and you can see that the length of this garden is currently taken up by what seems to be a firing range for archery, and standing and aiming a bow is this beautiful, slender, leopard-like tabaxi, who is drawing back an elegant bow. Really kind of artistry in this bow is amazing. She pulls it back, concentrates for a second, lets a breath out, and lets go of the arrow. The arrow just hits bullseye, and you can see that 6 of the arrows have hit that bullseye as well. And she's kind of arranging the arrows so that they're kind of next to each other. That's... thank you for the feedback, Kate. I will lower my microphone volume now. That should be a little better.
It's hard to tell in amongst everyone else, but you've been really clear and everyone else has been quite muffled. So if I turn you down and then boost everything up,
it may actually be the mod that I'm going through as well. So I will take a look at that as well.
Yeah, don't don't worry too much. Hopefully it's not too bad. I just don't want to. I can't turn everyone else up. So
yeah.
Yeah, no. I just don't want to amp myself too much. So yeah, hang on. Tell me if there's a difference between this and...
Oh, yeah.
Well, the other one we can't hear you.
You disappeared.
You almost disappeared. Don't do that.
Oh
no, we lost...
Bye, Nick.
We lost Nick. He's like, layers. I'm done.
I did it on purpose to make sure that it had an effect, and now I'm just changed it. Is this more balanced?
I think
yes.
You're a little less overpowering there. Corinne, say something. Say a few things.
Voice, I am talking.
Okay, and there's Simon.
Yes, Corinne.
And I am also talking.
Yes, Corinne's always a bit quieter than everyone else, but but that's better. There's a little
okay.
So that new... Hopefully Nick will be back in a second.
So that new mod actually helps me amp myself, so that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
No.
So we'll just wait for Nick to come back.
We're all currently, me and Felicia are now within my Cora sphere with the wall between us.
Yes. And I'm now the DM. Hello, everybody.
That's true. You are now the DM. Yeah. Simon is Nick. Me and Felicia are like half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, we share.
Changing the volume. Okay, I should be more now because it's.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Down. Yeah, it's put itself down than when I put it at, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
But you can change your volume both in the settings and in Zoom itself.
Well, that same settings I'm doing it anyway.
For the listeners at home, we've switched over from Discord, which a lot of our technical issues that we've had in the past have not been down to even my little crap top here has been down to Discord and the fact that Discord is bloated to hell. We've switched over to Zoom, and ever since we've switched over to it, as in
today,
about an hour ago today, we have been able to see each other. We haven't had any video glitches.
Well, we currently really lost Nick, but let's not discuss that part.
I think that's more Nick than Zoom.
Broken more than it. Well, it's more bloated than it is broken. It's a great service, but with everyone stuck at home, suddenly they have to put so much more pressure on the processing power of their servers, I think.
Yeah, certainly.
It's less built for video as well, isn't it?
Oh,
this is built for
Nick
video.
is having internet trouble. That explained that.
Okay, well, that's okay. We'll get him back in a sec. And the other thing about Discord is that it suffers from its own success. First of all, it's got tons of viewers, but the other thing it has is that when it gets to a certain level of success, it ends up getting big strokey beard business meetings where they say, how can we continuously improve? How can we get that extra 1%? And they start adding features. And that's the problem, is that what you want is a dedicated audio video line. I don't care if it has all these other weird and wonderful features. I need a dedicated audio video line that is reliable and doesn't completely take up all of my background processing and also a lot of the bandwidth as well.
While we're waiting on Nick, can I show everyone my new latest mini that I painted?
Yeah,
look at it.
Actually,
nice.
I need oh wait, this isn't gonna. Hold on. Focus. Focus. Oh god, autofocus. Go away, you.
This turtle is small. This turtle is far away.
Logitech H2 Pro Cap.
There we go.
Focus. Focus. You know you can do it.
Come on, it's really cool.
You
need
your
to see
face
it.
more.
I'm trying to hide my face. Come on, focus, you ass.
Come on. Well, no, focus on the total face.
It doesn't want to, does it?
No.
It's kind of. It was doing it.
It was trying. It was trying.
Yeah. Put a sheet of paper behind it. We can get there. We have the technology. No, cover the rest of the thing. It's focusing on the sofa.
Oh, it's because I'm looking at. There you go. Is that worked?
There we go. It's kind of doing it. It's a really cool turtle. It did it. It did it.
Yay! Like 2 seconds. Someone in chat, clip it. I don't know how.
Wasting time. But yeah, I did that while watching a different RPG on Wednesday because I'm obsessed with it. And this was fun.
Yeah, I need to watch that RPG.
You do.
Well,
it's
I've
so
already
good.
watched episode 1. I need to watch the rest of it now.
Did you get to the end of episode 1 though and go, what?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I only got a little bit in, and then I was like, okay, I'm coming back to this because I want to.
Oh, you haven't got to the end.
Oh, no, because I was listening to it whilst I was working because I'm still working, obviously. Okay. And I was like, you know what? This is chill time. Watching because you want to pay attention to it.
It's so intense. We're talking about Table Stories Gone. I highly recommend. Don't go watch it now. Watch us, but go watch it after us.
Please stay. Don't go.
Don't go. But it is really good. Yeah. If you like, it's a mystery thriller, sort of sci-fi-esque. Thing, but it's very cool.
It's one of the joys of having so many people broadcasting and creating content now in this way, in that we suffered, well, not as personally, but I guess the art in general suffered from a little bit of over Hollywoodization of all stories. And you look at a lot of the things you saw on Sky back around Buffy time. And you only had people like Josh and that who were trying to break out of it all. And now you're getting people who are coming in with lots of different formats. And it's inspiring me. It's inspiring me to change how I write and to change how I perform. So I'm loving that at the moment. At the moment, I'm still staying a bit too much as my old DM style, even when I'm on stream. And so I'm hoping to refine that a little bit more as I go along. In fact, this long weekend is going to be me doing a bit of self-assessment.
I'm going to give us all 20 levels because
you're going to give yourself 20 levels. So yeah, okay.
We're now level 30.
Okay, in that case, you're going straight into the final battle against the architect and his pets.
Tarantula.
I'm trying to think. What's the one that everybody?
Tarask.
That's it. Yeah. Brain fart. Yeah, and his pet Tarask, Toby. So, yeah.
You do realize now that if you ever introduce a Tarask, its name is Toby.
Toby, yeah. Toby the Tarask.
Toby the Tarask, yes.
Oh God, I can't believe I've just Thomas the Tank Engine, the ultimate killing machine of D&D. It's Toby the Tarask. Ruh-roh.
Yeah, my king moved me now, so I'm no longer in the DM.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to rescue it for a moment. Although there's still some weird stuff going on, but and then Nick will come back, and then
it'll all be screwed up again.
No, but I've made it's a new scene, so I can jump back to the old scene, and hopefully
smart.
Hopefully it won't be.
My favorite part of OBS is the duplicate function. It's good.
Yeah. Yes, I have had problems in the past though when you duplicate and then you change something and it changes the other one. It makes
there's duplicate reference and duplicate something else, and one of them is the good one, the other one is the bad one, and I keep forgetting which. I need to write it down. Yeah. So yeah.
There we go. That's a little better. And then Nick will come back now. Hopefully Nick will come back. Is he all right? Oh no. Come back, Nick.
It's my voice, all right, guys.
He needs to buy more internet.
Well, he disappeared from Discord again. He's been going in and out off online.
See, I turned Discord. I've got Discord on my phone, but not on the computer.
Yes,
and yes, everyone except one has glasses.
Yes, that's very true. And how is my voice levels, by the way? I am messing.
You're okay, although Felicia's a lot louder than you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just loud.
I think, Felicia, if you go into voice settings in Zoom, you can lower.
Yeah, I know. I can change.
I don't know. Where do you do the voice settings in Zoom?
So by the little mute button, there's little arrow. Press then, and there's audio settings.
Yes, there is. Oh, yes. Now I'm bringing it up on screen. I don't want to do that.
No, don't automatically adjust volume. Is this better?
It's quite low. You probably
Now
want to go
you've
a bit
gone a
higher.
little too low now.
Yeah, just bring it up a bit now.
This?
Yeah, that's kind of good. No, well,
Bit
you say
higher, bit
you say
higher.
a few things.
Okay.
We need to go round in a circle.
Yeah, I guess. I'm talking. Hallå. Jag menar påsk. Påskmust. Påskmust är gott. Det behöver jag mer av.
Question is, how much do you have left?
You've got quite... Yeah, Simon's a lot higher. You can go down a tad, Simon. Now.
Go down, Simon!
No!
Just a tad. I'm tweaking on my voice meter as well, so I've put that back to 0 dB. It was right down.
Okay, how am I doing now?
Say that again.
You're doing very well.
How am I doing now?
That's
You're doing
that's
quite
quite
well.
nice.
I think
You're not
Felicia
peaking.
needs to go up a little bit because it's
Yeah, Felicia, say
slightly
some
low.
stuff. Oh God.
I
wait.
am talking. Hello.
My mum is calling
hello.
me. Mum, I do things on a Friday. You know this. Okay.
To be fair, my dad's the same way. Like, he knows I do things every Friday night, but does he remember? No.
No, bless
Why
him.
would he?
Right, so trying to
but
claw this back
relatively-
until Nick
Yes.
gets back.
I mean,
Nick-
Farewell's
Farewell is
distracted
there.
anyway.
He's
Yeah.
distracted, yeah.
Yeah.
And Farewell's there, yes. So
We killed Farewell.
so Farewell's looking at a rock anyway. So, he's currently looking at his little crystal. And you can see that this elegant female tabaxi, leopard coat, is firing these arrows neatly into the bullseye. And the arrows are going shunk, shunk, shunk next to each other. She's lining them up on the bullseye. And she is doing the same rhythm each time. Just this single movement, draw and pull, and then this let go of breath, and then it just fires in, and it's hypnotizing. It's a slow rhythm of shunk, pum, shunk, thunk, and every single one is perfect. She keeps going on like this up until the point where this eagle-eyed archer suddenly catches a glint of something in a reflective surface. There's a few things in this garden that are just hanging from the boughs of trees. No jokes about cat toys and things like that. They're mostly bird scarers, because you can see that there are some small berry trees that's nearby. And it interrupts her as she goes, shunk, huh? And she fires the arrow, and it skitters off the top of the wall, off the top of a roof, and she goes, oh, gracious, and then turns around, sees Eclipse, throws this beautiful bow to the floor, and leaps. She clears about 40 foot, and she, despite the fact that she seems to be a lot more slender than Eclipse, and Eclipse is quite slender at being a rogue, she leaps and she snatches Eclipse up as if she's a babe in arms, and says, oh, my daughter, you're here. And she ends up dropping part of you into a huge crushing hug. And
hug back.
yeah, and she shouts, River, our daughter is back. At which point, you can see there's a sudden look of guilt on her face, and your father turns up, River, and when he looks at you, there's a moment of sadness, and then a moment of happiness as he runs over, vaults the fence, and runs up and starts to hug.
Aww.
I hug them both. Father, hello.
Moon. Really? Would it kill you to write a little more? I mean, seriously, you can see that River is wearing he's wearing a what seems to be a leather apron, that seems to have blood on it, and like little blood spatters. He says, but you're here, but you're not satisfied. No, no. And he takes her face, cradles her face, and goes, no, you're not satisfied yet. This is a visit and not a return.
Yes, it's a visit.
Okay.
We've gone. We were at the temple. We were returning an archaeological find of a temple guard.
Did you find it? Surely not. No, not already. No, you're not satisfied.
No,
you found something else.
No, a temple guard. Her name was Silk Whisper, but she was part of Jordan's. She was part of with Jordan. She was with one of his generals.
So you are on the path. You are making good headway. Yes.
Yes.
I was worried that you were going to end up in some university, just borrowing through books about Jordan the Great, reading a bunch of stuff, and not actually getting out there and doing something. I kind of want, you're a physical girl.
No. I found 2 of the generals so far. I have them here. Brings up the coping jars.
He looks at the jars, not having a clue what he's looking at. He goes, okay, I expected the generals to be a bit more imposing, but sure, okay. I assume some sort of burial thing.
They were imposing. One was like an undead aboleth.
His eyes grow huge. Now, you know that River was a warrior of some renown back in the day. He went traveling with a band, not quite a legion. It was like about 20 people. So he didn't go around in an adventurer party. He went around in a company. You know that he was a good soldier, but he was a good soldier by the numbers. He knew how to lock ranks, things like that. And when he came back to Naruka, his journey finished, he became a butcher. A butcher and chef. He's kind of like a chef that specializes in meat. And when you say the word Aboleth, he's heard the campfire stories, and there's this look of terror on his face to start with, but then the realization that you survived it, and this look of respect. His wife Blossom, who is the archer that's still hugging you, she still hasn't let go of you. Typical mum. And clutching a little girl. You know that she was an adventurer, and compared to your father, who was a rank and file soldier, he was an expeditionary soldier, but he was still a soldier. She was an adventurer, and in her day did the whole Shadow of the Colossus thing, riding on the back of giant creatures while trying to shoot them in the back of the head. She, out of the two, Blossom is the famous one, and has a number of trophies in the Grand Temple. That's in mostly the kind of life science section. So there's some skeletons there where it says donated by Tree Blossom.
Tree Blossom.
At the base of it, and it's a big deal. She's a big deal, as you can see by the prowess of her firing those arrows, and she kind of ruffles your kind of the part behind your ears, and says, "An aboleth. You're trying to take my crown, Eclipse." And she uses your in the same way that if your parent turns around and says, "Simon Cantor, what have you done?" and you're suddenly that big. When she says the word eclipse, it has the same effect. When she calls you moon, moon is the endearment. Eclipse is the formal. You all call her Eclipse because you're not kind of at that level of relationship with her. But
you will have a 5 friend call me moon.
But when she calls you Eclipse momentarily, it's a playful admonishment, but with a lot of respect as well. So,
does Eclipse tail go straight up when she hears that?
Yes.
Mom. And sorry, I have to keep referring to it. River says, "Anyway, these are tales that must be had over a meal. Is your friend quite okay?"
He's a bit. He's a water genocide, and I think.
Do they all do this?
No, it's just that he's found some. His name is Fadwell Badbones, and he gets fixated on things sometimes. And he's found some things from his original plane of existence that that C had. So he's just currently very intensely processing.
Someone who gets fixated on a single subject, he's going to do well amongst the Naru. Come, my friend. We shall have a meal. You go inside what is a beautifully decorated house, and amongst the various landscapes and portraits, not of family members. There are a couple of family members, but rather than having several pictures of your kids, there are pictures of the kids, as in singular. And Naru, well, the Naru at least, don't seem to feel the need to have more than one picture of any one person. And so the rest of them are friends that they met along the way. And this is, again, all from the Naru journey, from the Wonderlust. And so you can see that there's battle-scarred warriors. There's a grinning lizard man that hunted alongside Blossom for some time, that she has regaled Eclipse with many stories of. And because of who they are as well, you do notice that there are military accolades from River, and there are the skulls and pelts of things that have been hunted from Blossom. You start to have a lovely meal with them, and immediately they just accept you as family. Storm at Sea turns around and starts to regale you with some stories about his various travels. You're asked to relate some of your adventures as well. They know that you're kind of city-based rather than constantly wandering like sea. And the parents in turn start to share parts of their own journeys as they went through the Naru Wonderlands. And,
I think we tell them about the architect and like the head fuck that was.
That was about to be my question in a minute, so we will talk about that in a sec. And you do get things like Blossom points at a particular skull, and she goes, "That one is in pride of place because it did this to me." And she pulls up. She's mostly wearing leathers. She's kind of wearing like leather shorts and like a kind of leather waistcoat. It allows everything to move. Not only that, it's quite warm. It's quite humid here as well. So she's wearing enough for modesty, but enough that she doesn't overheat as well. And she pulls up the waistcoat, and you can see that there's a patch of fur missing on the stomach. And she goes, "That did that to me. It was a near mortal wound. It was a good thing that I had a priest with me that day. I'm going to miss him. He's dead now, of course." And she points to the lizard. And she said, "Yeah, he died a few years ago. But he's much older than me, but a fantastic man." And she kind of says very fondly, "It's always good to make sure that you have at least one god." And she kind of nods towards Farewell.
Very much so.
Farewell is very useful. He has patched up all of us at some point.
So I'm going to ask you, with Blossom, River, and Sea all in attendance, what of the stories, you don't have to role play out the stories, but what subjects are you going to cover in the stories that you tell them?
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna let Eclipse take the lead. It's her parents.
Eclipse will obviously tell everything she's done with regard to Jordan and like how far she's gotten with that. She's also gonna tell him about the facility and the head fuck that happened with like the architect and all of that, and how creepy that was.
Okay. They do reveal that the Siege of Ostergald, news of the Siege of Ostergald, reached even them.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, it's been over a month.
Yeah.
The bards have traveled far and wide with this story, and they have heard of it.
Yeah.
Interesting. If Eclipse tells that, I would like to continue telling. Oh, so we teleported out there. I took everyone to my home to recuperate after that ordeal. And do you know what Eclipse did when we met my grandfather? She said, "Oh no, he's hot." My grandfather!
And I didn't say that! That was not Eclipse, that was me! Not Eclipse!
At
was
that
Corinne.
point, I think it was both Corinne and Eclipse.
No, he was. You should have seen him. He was very. It was very weird.
Well, he is a dragon
Yeah.
as well. I mean,
Yes, and he could easily eat each one of us, whichever one. He could easily eat any one of us in one single bite because he was
Wow.
very big.
Many of us travel. Hey, we're getting Nick. Yay! We have a Nick.
damn it, Nick. I need to
A
go
wanderer
back.
Nick is the
returns.
DM. Nick is the DM.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. He's back.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm very sorry about that.
That's okay.
that's fine.
The whole house decided to lose internet, and then because I lost internet, I then had to spend a fun time resyncing my Ethernet adapters to one another to remind each other that they were linked.
Ah.
They do like to talk to one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So if you want, Nick, you can come in on this initiative.
Initiative? Wait a minute. What?
I've been playing for too long to be bothered about that. It's when you say, "Oh, good, now you can start making your own death saving throws." Then I
I'm
point
not
out.
intimidating anymore.
No, we're having dinner with Eclipse's parents, and the farewell has been absent-mindedly staring at his crystal. While
That's
we have
pretty much.
regaled them of the tales of Jordan, the facility, and how Eclipse thought Glory's grandpa was hot.
Briefly, before he was like very surface level hot, before before
all the
all the
evil.
tyranny and everything, you know.
Yeah, her parents are incredibly amused by this, where they're just going, I see. So your taste in partners has not improved.
Eclipse actually proved herself very noble in a place that was not necessarily accepting of certain views.
She ended up in an obelisk.
I wasn't actually going to point that one out. I was going to try and
Oubliette.
yeah. I was
After insulting a priest.
I'm a
Okay.
Labyrinth fan. I couldn't not put her in an oubliette.
Yes.
But yes.
I mean, she was insulting me, so.
And you stuck to your principles.
She stuck to her
Never do it
principles.
again. I want you back alive.
yeah. We maybe shouldn't have pointed out the danger part of that. But anyway, she did. She
It's
did
fine. It was my cousin.
Okay.
I got her out.
It's
Good,
been an
good.
interesting few months.
So you have people to get you out of trouble and keep you alive. You've made good friends. Good. For us, things are very normal. So the business is going well. The restaurant is going well. This is the first you've heard of any restaurant. So River has its own. So the restaurant is going well, and Mother, she is teaching a whole new generation of tabaxi, the ways of the bow and other forms of marksmanship. And so yes, she's preparing whole new wanderlings to leave the den and go on the same journey that you do. Hopefully with less dragons and less aboleth. But yes, I'm pretty sure they will do.
Yes. Have you heard anything from my other sisters? I don't have much contact with them because we're moving all the time.
You notice something, everybody else, that Eclipse hasn't been sad all that much, but both parents suddenly look down, their faces fall, and their ears go flat. River's the first to speak, and he says, "No, we have bothered the priestesses too many times to ask for the augurs and oracles to try and search for the smoke.
You have any of your stuff, because we don't mind trying.
I got some of that. It sounded like an offer.
Sorry,
your sister's missing?
Yeah, we know that. Clips told us a long time ago.
Yes.
Remember, we
Yeah,
all
well, I
promised to go find her.
Well, I said I hadn't heard from Pluma Smith for a while, but I assumed because she didn't really know what to write to me, I assumed she'd been writing to my parents.
No. Her letter stopped
Farewell flips in his book to
years ago.
about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and then sort of points to the page and goes, then.
Huh. Why have we... Well, we've been distracted.
It's been a long couple
And to be fair,
months.
I mean, neither of us could do that then, but we can do it now. So if they have anything that's hers, and they can describe her...
We
to
have a
us-
photo.
Or, I mean, in fact, Eclipse, can't you look like other people? Can't you
Yes,
just
I
turn
can.
into
And
her?
I will turn into an image of... Well, I won't turn it now, because that would be actually really fucked up and sad.
Yes.
They
Yes.
unhook a portrait off the wall of, and I've been waiting to say this, a Tabby Tabaxi. And mostly greys and blacks, and you can see that the artist is clearly a good artist, and they're not defined stripes. The stripes kind of blend into each other, so she's kind of a slightly smudgy tabby. And they say, "This is what we've been using so far." And they slide it across the table to you. And at this point, I need to look up what is going on.
Well, I haven't decided. I've just written missing.
No, I decided when you wrote down missing, I was like, okay, I know where she is. So let me just pull up where she is.
Yeah, because I'm still set up for finding things for Eclipse. So
Yeah.
I've brought all my finding stuff. All my finding spells and knowing spells.
All the good stuff.
See, I didn't remember that she was missing. I thought that you guys wander a lot and she was on her wander.
That's what I assumed that she was, and she she was just in somewhere where it would be difficult to send letters. But I assumed she'd be still in contact with my parents.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I kind of thought she was missing from the beginning. Sorry, Eclipse. It's more common than not, but you know, I'm sure she's fine, and she's just like you, caught up on something that's taking all of her attention away, and that's why she's not been in contact, rather than anything, you know, upsetting or dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we...
Do you want to do
So
it?
you've heard from Summer, right? Other sister.
Yes, she's doing very well. Very much her mother's daughter, and yes, she's sent back a few trophies of her own. And she points out a few different pieces that you didn't see before, and just assumed that were your mother's. But those are Summer's trophies up on the wall. One of them is of a pig-like humanoid skull with two nasty-looking razor tusks that are coming out, and she says, apparently those people in Garandal are very vicious. So it's like referring to another campaign's notes that I haven't even run yet. So, so Eclipse's sister is in another campaign that I've yet to run.
Apparently.
Apparently.
Well, I've got a player.
So, Cora, do you want to do this, or do you want me to? I mean, you can do it too.
Well, I think I can do it, but I've never actually tried yet. But I'll
I'm
give it
sure
a go.
you've tried, haven't you?
Surely that is the reason to try.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
And yes, I could also, if you want a lifelike version of my sister, I can do.
Picture's fine.
Myself as her.
No. The picture's fine.
I think so.
But we probably have some item of her possession, because that will.
That will help. Yeah,
That will
that will help. It will help.
One of her
If you have
trophies
any
work?
fur as well, that will help even more, because that like an actual body part helps more with the spell.
So that's the point where Blossom walks upstairs.
That's
comes
a little
back down.
creepy.
She comes back down with
hairball.
comes down with a hairbrush.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
that will do it.
I mean, I'll shall I give it a go? And then, I mean, if I can't do it, at least you can then try.
Sure.
Yeah.
I take
My hairbrush isn't as creepy as
bowl,
what my
Simon.
aunt does.
and I'll set it in front of Cora, and I'll reach into my pack. I'll pull out a flask of holy water. I'll fill the bowl with it. Close it down. You have a spell focus, don't you?
Yeah, and Cora, what am I currently using
ring.
for it? I've got a ring. I've got a crystal bracelet I used to use, but I think the ring is now the main
Cool,
thing.
right.
So yeah, I'll just be like,
I'll get out of your
rubbing
hair.
on the.
Yeah.
I mean,
The ring given to you by
having a
your one true
hairbrush
love. Yeah,
is
very
probably
powerful
better
focus.
than having several rooms full of blood vessels.
Yeah, so they have -10 to the save because it's yeah, you have a body part lock of
Yeah,
hair.
but
or
we
bit of
also know second hand of the target.
yeah,
it's-
so it's yeah,
so
plus
it's,
5.
yeah.
Minus
It's
fine.
okay. I've already got this sorted out because I had a feeling she would go for that. Hence why it was in my notes. I had to call up the right. I had to call up the right page in my notes, but I have it ready. The second that she said, "I'm going to Elstran," I was like, "I'm writing tonight." Okay. So, Kate, I would like you to do me a spellcasting roll. That's not how it
Guidance.
works. They normally
add a
save.
add a D4 to your roll, Kate. You get guidance. It's Farewell's purely just he wants this to work so much, and he knows that she doesn't really have to do anything normally. He's just like guidance. He just
So, Kate, I
Please
need to know
work.
two things. I need to know what the number on the D20 was, and I need to know what the total amount is.
D20 is 12.
Mhm.
So with my spell attack is a plus 11. The modifier, I always get this confused. Modifier is a plus 6. Spell attack is a plus 11. So
Plus 11.
plus 11.
and then you need to add a D4.
Yeah. So and I rolled a 4 on the D4. So
Okay.
that
12 is actually a
is-
16 because it kind of augments the 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Good to
So
know. That
16
actually
plus
changes
11.
things.
Yeah?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
37.
Right,
27?
27, I can't
Okay.
count.
Ah,
So,
murderous.
Kate, you focus on the things in front of you. You're
Correct.
surrounded by tabaxi. Ordinarily, just having one tabaxi as a link, you're trying to get into the skin of this person. But being surrounded, you're in her family home. You've been speaking to her parents, talking about various stories for some time. You kind of attune to the family as a whole, and the vision. You start to just feel clouds falling beneath you, and you suddenly fall at a rapid rate at what seems to be lantern lights in a city at night, and you feel like you've been jarred out of the spell as suddenly you feel this large boot slam you in the back, and you hit the dirt. You can taste dust in your mouth, and you spit it out, and no, it's not dust, it's sand, and you can taste the salt in the sand. You spit it out, and you notice that your tongue is touching teeth that are not your teeth, and especially the tabaxi fangs that you can feel in your mouth. It's very strange. And the blurred vision starts to clarify, and a pair of tabby tabaxi, I'm going to keep saying it, hands in front of you as you're pushing yourself up. And someone goes, "You fool, you took the torque off." And they go, and you can see that I just realized I said that in a tabaxi voice. It's not a tabaxi voice. You hear a reptilian voice say, "You fool." No, I'm doing tabaxi again. Never mind. I'm just going to say, "You fool." I did too many tabaxi voices. You took the torque
We don't know
off.
it doesn't. That's not what a reptilian sounds like either.
Oh,
It might be the area they're from, not just the race they are.
I need to put more into it.
Okay.
So picks up the talk and you can see that as this talk is being put back onto, quite clearly, this character, this Smoke, that the vision is about to be cut off again. Yeah, and before the vision is cut off, I would like you to make a perception check to take in as much as you can for your surroundings. And because it's the same thing, it is part of the scrying that you're doing. I'll give you the D4 that was given for the scrying to this as well, because it's another layer of the scrying.
I rolled a 2 on the dice and a 1 on the 4.
Okay, what's your modifier?
11.
11. So you get some.
Plus 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I get 13.
You get 13.
13, 14.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad.
well, do you go?
Oh wait, what modifier for perception? Wait, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Well, don't you take passive? If it's below a certain amount.
Wait, I said 11 is the spell attack. Perception is a +3, so that's only a 5 in perception, plus the 1, so yeah, 6. I don't see much to.
Okay, so you would default
First time
on a
I've scried and I'm suddenly inside this being, and it's
fine.
Confusing.
Your passive is 30. Okay, you didn't get any better than it. You were searching. You have been distracted, but then again, you were just shoved into somebody else's body.
Yeah. Which is not what she was expecting to happen. Not that she really knew.
So, most of what's on this page, you don't hear.
That's fine.
Most on this page you don't see.
Beowulf might do this afterwards.
You're in what seems to be a tunnel. I'm going to give you 3 details from this list. First of all, the person in front of you seems to be an elven dancing girl.
By the way, I'm relaying this to everyone as it's happening.
What did it say? Elven?
Sure. Elven dancing girl. So she's kind of in kind of like a harem pants and a kind of crop top. She's got her hair up with colored threads that have been woven into it, and there's charms and tokens that are hanging off the kind of beehive hairstyle. And she's doing stretches in front of you, and she's obscuring most of what you can see. That's the first detail. And the second detail is somebody. It's the most obvious detail, and the lizard person, as they're coming up to Smoke, says, "Maybe today you'll get favor, and you'll be able to pay off your debt, trespasser." And just as the talk is being put back on, you can hear an announcer far away suddenly announce. It's quite clearly they've gone, blah, 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 Great Ceradon! And that's where it cuts. Glory, this has been relayed in real time by Kate.
Yeah,
you know that.
I'm assuming, like, am I there, like, I'm probably there sort of spitting slightly when I think it's me. I'm like...
Even when you come back, you kind of feel sand in your mouth.
That was weird. Scrying is weird.
Normally you don't go into the body of someone when scrying, so that's interesting.
Really? I did. I totally was like a cat.
No, you're not. No, you're not supposed to go inside somebody. You float above.
Well, I
them.
didn't mean
What?
to. It just happened, and I think I've got sand in my mouth still. I don't understand. Anyway, weird. Did you get? I was trying to talk while it was happening. Ceradon?
Yes.
Anyone know?
Elven dancing girl, pay for debt, reptiles, and Great Ceradon.
She's clearly gone somewhere where she's not supposed to.
That.
Alicia, you have only heard of one Ceradon, and most people pronounce it Ceradon. Ceradon is the Blue Dragon Elder in Skull.
Ooh, yeah. Eclipse? This might be an issue, because I only know about one being with that name.
Yes.
And I haven't met them because it's the elder blue dragon.
Oh, that's not good.
And
That
if
is
she's
not good.
in their depth, this might be trickier than
Another
Alicia, have you
tabaxi and a noubliette.
Well, no, I mean, if you were in the tabaxi's body,
She was being
and you-
taken somewhere.
Can you try
And
that?
sorry, continue your thought, Farewell.
Yeah, sure. Was she being dragged or were you walking?
I was pushed down into the ground and the blindfold came off, and then it was like I was being taken somewhere. I'm not completely sure, but it seemed like they were traveling, and she fell or tried to escape or something and was pushed down.
Sure.
They were in a
give me
tunnel. Did I say that? They were in a tunnel
Yeah.
with sand.
Okay.
That doesn't
I take-
surprise me. They live, I think, along the coastline. They like to patrol there, shooting the ships from the sky. It's dear, this. That is a political nightmare.
Do you not have sway? It's a dragon. You're from there, right?
Yes.
Blue, though.
I mean, we could potentially. We could.
Are we sure it's the
potentially-
same one though, and not someone just named Saradon?
Do you
Maybe,
know of
maybe
another?
Would you want it?
not.
Would you want to take a blue dragon's name in vain and parade around pretending
Well,
to be him? And
I mean,
honestly, I
it's-
think that if they find out that someone had taken their name, that person wouldn't live very long. I'm just saying.
that's my thoughts. I mean, there's a few things that you never do, and one of which is deal with
Suppose-
dragons.
There is a possibility. I know
Well
my
done,
brother
Nick.
has dealings with the blue dragonflight.
Yeah.
We could potentially buy off your sister's
Wasn't there like an Skyfan?
I'd have to talk with Aunt Ideal for that.
Wasn't there like an old blue dragon called Skyfan that Renata knew?
That too, but
Where
they
did you,
weren't on
where did you
good
get this
terms, if I
information
remember
from?
correctly.
From the book.
It's in the book, Farewell.
Oh, you
told
mean
you,
the
you
book that
missed
you
the
all got to
book
read
club.
that I didn't?
You did get to read it. We read it first, and then I shared it with the girls afterwards.
I'm
were part of that book club, dude.
Farewell just sort of looks at Cora and goes, I'm not a girl.
Yes, exactly. I shared it with you first, and then on the boats, I shared it with the girls. There's a distinction between the two. You and the girls.
I don't remember this.
Because
Are
you
you
were
sure this
you were
happened?
staring off to sea, and before that, it was in that month off when we were doing stuff. When I was reading the book, I showed you the book. I think it was very brief. I think it was like I talked to Farewell about this. I don't think we RP'd it very well.
Oh, good, because I don't remember
I think-
anything about this.
I think I
I've
said
got nothing written down, and I'm like,
you
Was
were.
I
Wait,
not
wait.
there?
I think you were not there. This was
Oh,
when we
right.
had the month. The month very recently. we
Yeah,
had a
and
month.
you were there.
You weren't there.
I talked
Sorry.
to Bible about it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I said because it's a whole month, so I was like, I would probably have taken some time to speak to Farewell about the books I found with Renata, but we didn't have a chance to roleplay it, so sorry. But yeah, you know about it. Hint, hint, hint.
Hint, hint.
Not that I remember
Yes,
those
we
details from the books.
Either approach it through Renata, because she might have some dirt on the blue dragonflight, which
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past her. But then again, we could potentially buy out your sister's debt using the connections of my family, which would basically transfer her into Tezcatlipoca custody, and then I could just say, hey, she will work it off while living in her home. You know?
Yes. It's,
But it's up to you.
Farewell, could you put me through ascending to her?
1 second. As Farewell, not
She's
today.
surrounded, and she's kind of with bad people right now.
Tomorrow.
Eclipse, do you remember what task your sister was on? Why it would have led her there? What she was trying to do?
I'm gonna say she's younger or is she older? She is younger than me, so she would have gone after me. So I don't know her obsession.
That's fine. I look to the parents. Do you know why she would have gone to Scalra? If this is where she's gone?
She was an entertainer. She went from port to port, and she decided the ships were the best way to see everything and everyone. She was fascinated with the tales that travel upon the sea. She traveled with the nation of the Seven Sails, going amongst the free folk and the various factions. And yeah, she sent us letters from all walks of life.
Have you spoken to the local king?
They look at you and let's see, who would have got this? Blossom turns and says, no, I mean, she traveled with them. She paid her fare. She wasn't allied to them, although she picked up quite a lot of lore. Last time we had a letter from her, she was coming back from Nostra and was hoping to do a few gigs on the Keltalands on the way through. So to go to Scalra is quite a deep in that direction. And basically, as you go from Nostra down to the Keltalands, it's quite an angles difference to go all the way over to Scalra, but who knows?
I mean,
Yeah.
tomorrow, I mean, I can. I'm sorry. I brought decursing and resurrection and speaking with dead, removing magic. For some
You're never
reason,
prepared, are you?
being
Cora said slightly, just jokingly, trying to just like.
Well, Farewell, did you want to have a go on trying the scrying thing as well? And see if we can see more things.
Maybe should we wait like half an hour, an hour, or how long's it been? Have we been talking for like 10 minutes already? I suppose.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna say that you are in a relaxed area. You can kind of be on a perpetual short rest at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you want me to? Sure.
Just see
It
if
is
there's
worth
any
a
more
shot.
information
We're gonna
other
need
than
more information anyways.
Sure. I summon forth the knife into my hand.
Very impressed pair of parents there. Yep.
Impressed or terrified? This guy just got a knife.
It's like, well, as this like all this smoke sort of like wraps around his hands and then solidifies into like what is in effect an obsidian short sword.
Yeah, like an obsidian machete. Yeah, it's quite big. Yeah, yeah.
And it
is pretty impressive visually.
Yeah.
If a bit creepy.
Very creepy. I mean, you have no idea what it's like to hold this thing. It's deeply unpleasant. And
given it by a muse or dark muse or whatever it was called.
Yeah, dark muse. Yeah, it was dark muse.
Yeah. Like I said, deeply, deeply unpleasant. And I place it sort of point down next to the bowl. And spend the next 10 minutes going through the spell necessary for scrying.
Sure. Okay.
It's 18 is my DC.
And so you're going to go for the same person, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Hold on. Did I get enough of a description to? No, I'm going to go for the person. I am going to go for the person. I'm not going to risk it. It's
Okay.
my last level 5 spell slot as I blew Legend Lore 2
Do me
sessions.
a roll. The roll is just a spell attack roll. Yeah?
Okay.
So it represents your spell ability. This time, though, you've been given the help action
Yay!
Hey!
by the target.
Oh,
So, yeah, she felt herself being scryed upon when Kate did it, and even though she's got the talk back around her neck now, she's attempting to reach out to whoever's looking at her.
cool. So advantage is that?
Advantage, yeah.
Cool. So it's a 16 on the dice. Thank you, advantage, because the first one was a 10. So that's really good. And my spell attack is a +10.
Okay, cool. 26. So yeah, you've got up to a very high tier. You've managed to break the 25 tier. And there's a muffled, fuzzy, distorted connection around you. You kind of feel like you're orbiting the target with your divination to be able to kind of see if you can get a better visual, and you can just hear a whisper under Smoke's breath. Under Smoke's breath. Hello.
Hello?
Are you out there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can feel you there, but
Talk to me.
I can feel you there, but I whoever you are, stranger, you reached out to me momentarily before they were able to block it.
Can you speak normally, Simon, so we can hear?
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
All right, sorry. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
sorry.
you're way too quiet.
Way too quiet.
Okay, she says, I cannot hear you, but
Oh.
I can tell that you're there. I felt you before when the torque came off, and now it's difficult. It's threatening, but I can tell that you're there. Please don't leave me. Don't leave me. You need to contact my parents. They are in Naruka in Austran.
Yes, we're there.
They are powerful heroes. You need to get Tree Blossom. If you ask for Tree Blossom in Naruka, they will pay you back for whatever the messaging service is. Whether if you can get somebody who can get hold of them by sending, they will pay you back for the price of the Arcanist. You need to tell them, I have been arrested for trespassing in Scalran waters. I am kept under the court of Seradon. I am currently paying off my debt using my abilities as an entertainer. If they can help and set me back on my way, that is good. But I am in no danger. I have not annoyed them in any way. I will just keep performing until I have paid off my debt to society. But I cannot write to them because I am a criminal as far as they are concerned at the moment. I am in prison. They need to know this. They need to know that I am safe. I know, Father, he will worry. Please, tell them that I am safe, and they shall reward you, and once I am free, I shall reward you.
Gotta go and bust it out.
She also mentions her name, which I didn't put in the speech, but she also mentions her name. So from what you can tell, Smoke has been arrested because her ship went into Scalran waters, and she's been taken and fined because she couldn't pay off the fine. She's now in indentured servitude.
Yeah, that does sound like Skullra.
Damn those.
So the thing was about slavery, Glory.
Well,
People like being slaves. Yeah.
It's not that way. Also, yes.
Anyway, farewell during the
She's
course of
working
that
off what
spell.
Farewell
During the course of the spell would. Nice. Now is not a
kids,
time.
Daddy's speaking.
There's not a time for the moral or ethical debates of indentured servitude.
No, not unless it's in character.
No.
that was
As part of the spell, farewell will be very monotonously and almost robotically repeating everything that was said verbatim, just because of practice and stuff. So it's sort of a lot of descriptions of what he could see, what the words were said to him. She shouldn't be able to talk to me. That's really weird.
No, she shouldn't.
I
know that's not how scrying works, because I never talk to Auntie, and I know she looks at me at least a few times a week.
That could be rather unfortunate.
Yes,
maybe next time you
like
say
a
hi.
massive invasion of privacy. What if you're with the lady at that time?
I'm used to it. She knows when to look away, which is
Doesn't
why I conduct most of my business in the bedroom. It's really handy, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very good. No.
We learned something about Glory today.
Yeah. Who's Flower Blossom?
Tree Blossom. That's my mother.
Tree Blossom. Oh.
Oh yeah, you weren't. You were still having connection problems. So the two parents are Tree Blossom, and that's the mother who was a hunter of renown, and Fish in the River, also just known as River, and that's the father who is a former soldier, now a restaurateur.
And a butcher.
Yeah.
Glory, do you think you can make inquiries as to how much a fine is?
Yes,
Maybe
and if
we
possible,
could pay it through your family.
Yeah,
And
that
have her
wouldn't be a
released.
problem, especially if we present our case when we visit next month.
why? What are we visiting? Why?
Oh, didn't I tell you? It is Kyron's naming day, and he wants all my friends to come and watch.
Are we allowed?
Yes, I have ordered your suits already.
Is that the little one that likes
Yes.
floating up? What do you mean suits?
Oh, nothing like the ones from the ball in Ostergol. No, these are basically because you're coming there as guest of the family, particularly me. You need to have it is a certain style of attendance wear, but in my colors to signify that you're there on my behalf.
Right.
Will we be able to keep our dignity?
Absolutely
this
not
time?
servants' uniforms at all.
No.
That's all.
No, we won't keep our dignity, or no, we're not there as servants.
You will be keeping your dignity, farewell.
Okay, I'm
And
sorry.
no, you're
I
not
have,
server.
All based on opinion.
It's
yeah, I have to ask. Because
yes.
you can't tell.
But yes, would it be possible to get her transferred to Atul Saran, do you think, and then we could pick her up when we're there?
Possible. I don't know if we can make it happen that fast, because especially between the flights, the bureaucracy is pretty long-winded.
I mean, we have a month.
Yeah, exactly. So I can message Hope and see if she can get started on the priestess front, and hopefully Aunt Einsight can do some inquiries on the political bit. Yeah, that could work. Maybe I could set my mother on them. That usually makes things happen faster.
Two very impressed parents, by the way, Corinne, as you're just there saying, oh, you can sort this out, right? And they're like, yeah, sure. I'm sure I'll just get my family to just get your sister out of the clutches of an elder blue dragon. And they're like, what? She can do this? They're not saying this. They're just looking with a look that on their face that says, you can do that? and that's it. They're just staring at Glory with disbelief.
And
Oh,
the good thing is she was saying that she wasn't being hurt.
Oh no,
or
she wouldn't
Yeah.
be. She's just working off her fine.
She didn't say what the fine was or how long she had to work for, though.
That depends on how
No.
angry the dragon was at the time.
Oh.
It usually is that way. It
Right.
depends on their mood, usually, because the political system. And
I'm so glad that I'm so glad that Felicia and I have talked so much about Scara because ordinarily I would have to throw that lore in. Oh yeah, it depends how angry the dragon is, and she's just said it in character. So I'm really pleased. I can sit back and go, yeah, carry on, Felicia. You know, you got this.
So
Not so much of it.
how much do you think it would be, Glory? I mean, if it was your grandfather and it was just a simple trespass, no
The
resist.
ship just went through the waters going
If it
somewhere
just
else.
went through the waters, perhaps a couple of 100 platinum per person.
Oh,
That's gonna take her forever to work off.
If it's a pirate ship and the pirates were known to loot,
It would be no fine.
There wouldn't be any
significantly
fine.
higher than that if they get a fine at all. But
Yeah.
the fact that she's paying it off, it means that it's not too bad. But maybe 400 or 500 platinum shouldn't be too much.
I hate to ask. I don't want you indebted to black dragons, but there is a fine to pay here, and I'm looking at Tree Blossom and River.
I mean, if she...
We have money. We have money.
Yeah. And
Felicia, to give you a quick adjustment to what you just said,
yeah.
what you're saying is absolutely true. Of people who are kind of the willing actors into this, she was a passenger, so the passenger would probably have a lower fine compared to those responsible for getting them.
Okay.
If she was main crew, she would be heavily fined. The captain would be fined most of all. The rest would be fined just to be able to get back on a ship and leave Scout. The captain probably would have his vessel seized, and there would probably be 2 separate fines for the captain. One to free him from prison, and then another to get his boat out of the impound.
Yeah.
And if the crew were loyal to him, they'd all be trying to work off both them and then after that their share of the boat, especially if they had been given stakes in the boats. Yeah. And then the passengers, on the other hand, would probably have the lowest of the fines. So even though your fine is on the money, it's probably a lot less smoke.
Yes, it is probably lower because she was a passenger and not a part of the crew, but you can never be quite sure. So I'll make inquiries and hopefully we can arrange her transfer into Tezcatlipoca custody, and then if you cannot pay off the bill, I should be able to arrange it so she can pay it back by working here in the family business. So at least you'll have her home.
We would be very happy to do this. It's something that is important to all Naru is that she continues on her journey. We will do what we can to set her back on her path, even if that path means that she spends some time in Atazaran. That too will be part of her journey. There is I guess we haven't really, or I don't know if Moon has told you much about the philosophy of the Naru. Smoke is on her journey. Her being captured right now is part of that journey. We fear for her life, but it is her journey. Now, if we can help her be able to travel, because obviously a time in prison is no journey at all. If we can help her continue moving, that is up. If we have to bring her home and she has a forced homecoming, her journey incomplete, it will have an effect on her. She will not know her place in the world. So we will have to help her with that. Obviously, what we don't want her is imprisoned or killed. So there is a kind of a hierarchy here that we need to look into. And the idea you said that maybe uh, she can work it off as a free person. That would be advantageous. If we can get her to work it off as a free person, that is a
Yes, it should be possible to do. I still have some clutch back home. And we did give the corpse of the aboleth to my aunt, so I should be in especially good favor right now.
Tree Blossom smiles at this and says, "Well, it looks like you're already in favor then."
Indeed. Oh, Auntie was the one who taught me. I'm not sure. Have you been in Tulsa on anything?
No, neither of us have been to a Tulsa.
Well, then you probably haven't met the Insight or Ideal then.
No,
Perhaps you've heard of my mother instead, the Fury of the Tezcacotls.
Ferocity.
Yes.
Yes, only by reputation.
Yeah, she has a reputation around the world. I thought you
Lori,
might.
how cool would it be if our mothers had met before?
No,
it would have been quite impressive.
Ferocity does not hunt as I hunt, and she does.
No, she
Well, we have a different way. Let's put it that way. We are different people, very different. And no, I have heard of her though.
Yes.
Yes. Very well. I now know who you are. And she doesn't look disapproving, but there's an intensity to it.
Yeah.
Where she's suddenly very, very aware.
So yes.
I have noticed, guys, that we have shot past 9:30.
Yeah.
Would you guys like a bio break?
Yeah.
Yes. A short bio break before we continue to unveil the whole dragon hierarchy of who knows what about what.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take 10 minutes then. 10 minutes on the clock, and we will be back at just past 10 and continue with the story there.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
And welcome back, everybody. So, before
Hello.
the break, we were talking about bringing back, what is it? Smoke. What's the full name? It's,
Plume of smoke.
Plume of Smoke. Eclipse's missing sister, who, in the course of her Naru wandering, has found herself trespassing in the waters outside Scalra.
Why?
Of course, these guys aren't in Scalra currently. They're in Austran with Eclipse's parents. And it's through the scrying of both Kate and Nick that they were able to piece together the story.
Mm-hmm.
In front of Eclipse's parents, Eclipse asked for the help of Glory Tezcatlipoca. Being from a powerful Scalran family, she was able to reassure Eclipse and her parents that she could use her influential political links, being that she is herself part of Scalran nobility, to somehow get the sister back from the clutches of Ceradon the Blue. So I'll just quickly read out the guide element of Ceradon. It's only very quick. Ceradon is believed to be the most bestial of the convocation, but has a strange sense of loyalty and protection for Scalra as a whole. They're the most commonly seen of the dragons, as they prefer coastal areas and will often fly along the coast in a form of patrol. They're known to fly over ships, blasting lightning into the sky to intimidate them. They have a small but loyal following of naval forces and sea folk. When the convocation meets, Ceradon is normally loud and opinionated. This is something that Laurie knew automatically as the background. And Ceradon is they them. And as a result of Laurie's knowledge into this, she is fairly confident she'll be able to get hold of Plume of Smoke and have Smoke delivered in time for a visit that was just revealed around about 20 minutes ago, in that Laurie has already booked the party to go back to Scalra after it went so well last time, to Atalzaran for a soiree in around about a month's time. It's actually closer now to 3 weeks from now, where you will go and see little Chiron's naming day. He will lose the name Chiron forever. No one ever calling him it again, unless they want to insult the little arsonist.
It's a good.
The little arsonist or the little arse? I'm just checking.
Arsonist.
Kind of both.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still arsonist if you use gunpowder. So yeah. Yes, a little bit of Adam's family going on there. And yes, so they are already booked for that soiree apparently, and that's just been dropped on them by Glory. Yeah. So, and we also checked over the break that the channel points do work, as Corinne tried to give herself a level 1 spell slot.
Well, I haven't used one, so no one has used a level 1 spell slot. It was completely pointless.
But it's nice to see that it works at least.
Yes.
So, your parents, Eclipse, are now quite relieved at the level of power that you've accrued. And bear in mind, Storm at Sea came home quite powerful, quite rich, quite influential, lots of friends, as bards tend to. And and so did they. But the fact that you have seemingly created deeper ties with a smaller group of people, and they are the ones who are protecting you and have other various influences, that really interests me.
Good to know that we have impressed Eclipse's parents.
Yes. This family visit seems to go a lot better than the last one we went on.
Yes, it did.
I am looking forward to the next.
Yeah. In all fairness, though, you couldn't beat...
the bar wasn't exactly very high.
Nick's last family reunion wasn't great, it has to be said.
All right, dude, too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon. Especially when I found out that they were his family. They are suddenly a lot more happy about the situation. River is ladling on these fantastic spiced meat dishes. Again, most of this food is kind of a Moroccan kind of feel. I really need to go to the Casbah in Oxford because I'm hankering for that food. And every time I talk about Nauru food, I'm thinking of that place. So it's a beautiful Moroccan restaurant. So there is there's chicken in a buttery sauce that's spiced up that just falls off the bone. There are ribs in a lovely sweet sauce where the meat just comes straight off. There's all sorts of stuff that's just been slapped onto the table, and River's going in and out all the time, coming in, talking. Sometimes he's having a conversation with you guys or relaying a story while shouting out the door whilst doing something in the kitchen. This is clearly his happy space. And so he's incredibly happy to hear that both Bloom is alive and she's about to get the aid of the rest of the family, being that you are one of Eclipse's associates. And so the whole Nauru theory of the wandering and trying to get the positivity out there in the world and to explore, and in doing so connect with other people, is proving that the Nauru tribe, of all the Tabaxi, being the only one that isn't xenophobic, they're right in this is proving that their theories, their life philosophies are correct. So you have a lovely night. You are offered lodgings here, and it's starting to get to early evening. You know that somewhere out there, Beatber is undoubtedly causing some sort of riot that everybody's enjoying. And you're not entirely sure whether Garrett and Jacob would be spending all their time in the Grand Temple. You have been told the Grand Temple is open for all hours of the day. It's 24/7, never shut.
No,
We
they
might
sleep
have
there.
to pull them out of there before we leave.
Sleeping there.
Well,
If they
I
even
mean,
sleep.
Eclipse, do you have wizards or sorcerers that could teleport them back if they needed to? I mean, it
I'm
seems a bit
sure if they
cruel.
go to where the public teleportation circle are, they could just get back through there.
Yeah,
Glory
it
will
just
also
seems-
point out to you that you all have return tickets, effectively.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're fine.
It seems a bit harsh, especially when we haven't seen Beeper in over several hours to
Leave them.
to make them go back when they're not ready to, and especially if they can go back whenever they want, and and
Yeah.
I can't see what harm. I mean, we should tell them that we're going so they don't look for us and worry. But yeah, I don't see a reason why we have to make them come back when we do. We just tell them we're going and off they go.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to do with the rest of your visit in Austrand? You have delivered Silk Whisper. You have the Grand Temple. You have the city itself. So, is there anything in particular you would like to look at? Storm at Sea is still here. He's taken the rest of the day off. He talks about the many things about Nauru culture. At some point, he starts, because he is a member of the Chamber of Commerce here, he starts talking about the things that you can find that are very specifically Nauru.
Sweetie, where is the best shopping district? I need to grab some clothes while we're here.
Got them at Tino's.
I did describe that one of the thoroughfares on the way to the Grand Temple had the most lavish shops. He pretty much reiterates that and says that there's a series of streets, because those two streets couldn't contain all of the best shops here. Bear in mind, Nauru, when they come back, they don't just come back with specific contacts. A lot of them come back with skills. So somebody will go away, become a world famous chef, and come back. But somebody else will go away and learn under a forge master and come back. And they bring back not just relics, but they bring back expertise. This is an incredibly driven and satisfied city. It's probably one of the happiest cities you've been in. For Eclipse, she hasn't really been many places. She's traveled around a bit, but mostly it's Naruka and Ostaga. For those who are more well-traveled, and I'm looking mostly at Glory and Nick. I don't know why I'm pointing that direction, because that's only on Zoom. I don't know where I am in
And everyone's different on Zoom as well. Like,
exactly,
trouble. You can't. Why are we not all the same to each other? Annoying.
Yeah. So the Naruka for Glory and Farewell in particular, two most well-traveled out of the group. This is the happiest city that you've seen. You have kind of seen people who are either having a stressful day or whatever, but they don't seem downtrodden. There's nothing that's downtrodden around here. Ostergald is a city that never sleeps. It's an industrial city. It's a militant city. There's a certain level of fatigue that everybody's got in a long time. They've got a little bit of kind of gallows humor, workman's wrath, that kind of thing. Working person's humor. But the thing about Naruka is that it is a city that's driven by color and passion, which is why you have a feeling that Beatbutt is having absolute, because this is a guy who even in Ostergald is driven by those two. And Storm at Sea does point out to you, he says, yes, so these are the streets that you want. And he points out a bunch of streets. Yeah. Mostly they are bordering between the spice market and the Grand Temples.
I smell a shopping trip. Come on now, guys. And she will literally grab both Eclipse and Farewell in the arms and march them out.
Before you get Farewell, didn't you want to buy more of those shards?
Yeah.
No. The one that I have will be fine.
Okay.
I do want to go swimming though, and I'd rather go swimming than shopping.
We'll check that too. But first, the shops.
Sure. They do point out that there's a baths. There's a great baths, public baths.
Do you want to go swimming in the sea or in the bath?
We could buy some new swimsuits and then go to the beach. That sounds great. Oh, do you have any magic shops? We could go.
Yes, of course. We have many enchanters within the city. So, come with me. And as you start to drag them out, C turns around to his mother and father, hugs them, gives his mother a kiss on the head, and says, I'll keep them safe. And
I will give a hug to my mom and dad before I leave.
He strides out into the city, and he tells you that most of the things that you will find within Naruka, especially with regard to weaponry, will be finesse weapons, mostly dex-based. Yeah?
Because Tabaxi gets bonus 6 in dex.
Most people are Tabaxi here. Yeah. And if they're not Tabaxi, they are people who came here to be trained by Tabaxi. And a lot of the enchantments and things like that you will find will normally be movement-based. Okay? The Tabaxi already have a climb speed, but normally it'd be something that makes them go faster, climb better. There are a lot of things like slow fall amulets. Slow fall amulets, things like that are the most common things that you'll find.
You mean that Tabaxi don't land on their feet every time?
Oh, they do, but when Tabaxi lands on their feet from a 5th story fall, they still take a lot of damage. So, yeah. It's like, oh yes, we land on our feet get broken all the time. So, yeah.
Yes.
That's horrific.
Yes, very small bones. And Storm at Sea does say that there's a lot of items here that are enchanted for comfort as well. There are braziers that you can have that will burn just a simple piece of wood, but to different scents, so that you can change the scent depending on crystals that you put in with it. So he points out a set just going up to a bazaar and pulling something straight off the shelf in a bazaar. And this apparently is just a thing that everybody does. There's no kind of, do you mind if I take a look? He picks it up and he says, so this one here, and he shows you what looks like a normal oil burner, but there's no bowl at the top. And he shows you that there's, for this one, 6 colored gemstones. And he says, you put some wood in here, and you light this. And he flicks his fingers, and the end of the piece of wood lights, and then he puts in one crystal. Suddenly there's this beautiful jasmine smell. He fishes the crystal back out, puts in a different one, and this one smells of sea salt. And he says, so there are a lot of minor things like this that we have that is considered to be, it is part of, and he says a word that doesn't translate into common, looks at Eclipse, and after a little bit of Naru twittering back and forth between the two of them, they come to the conclusion, life quality is, I guess, the closest word that we have.
Quality of life, I believe.
Yes, it is what we surround ourselves by day to day. It's about people and about sensation and about fulfillment. And it's what we have when we come back from.
Eclipse, sweetie, do you think Noki would like one of those for the tavern? It would make it more welcoming.
Amy, yes, that would be a great idea, I think.
Sure. Okay. I'm not going to divvy into money at this point. If you want to buy one of those as a gift for Noki, you can absolutely do so.
Yes.
This is more of a character decision, and yeah, you're raising your rep with Noki. Yep. So you pick up a brazier. So you wanted a shopping section of this.
We don't need to make it very long.
Okay, I'll just go around the table.
Random rolls and see what we find while we aimlessly walk through the streets and shops of this new city.
That I can absolutely do. So you're going to go, basically, you want me to do a bargain hunt roll?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Just having some fun. Glory style.
Sure. Okay. You managed to get, there's a number of places that have particular gems. So I have an availability of different gems if you need them for reagents.
Okay, well, weren't you after some diamonds, or was it something else? I know you borrowed my, one of my necklaces.
Yeah, I don't have the gold for any more diamonds, but I've got plenty. I mean, I've got 2 of the big ones and 2 of the little ones, so, you know, as long as you guys don't plan on dying more than 4 times, I think we're okay.
Okay, good.
You know, I wouldn't recommend it once unless you truly mean to, so, you know, if you just sort of play it safe, like no hiding in boxes where I can't see you, or, you know...
A pointed look at Eclipse.
You know, or anything of the sort. So, yeah. So when we're going to the beach,
we need bathing suits first.
Well, you do. I mean,
well,
Cora wants to look around for some stuff. Like, it can be while the others go to the beach, but Cora's gonna go look around and try and pick up a few things that are very un-Ostergald, like very, very sort of not like rare as in precious rare necessarily, but just unusual or interesting or potentially useful as well items that she can take back to Freetown to like add some wonder or useful things that haven't been brought back.
Okay, there's a few things that turn up. So in the minor objects, one thing that you do see is that are you breaking away from the party, Kate, when you do that?
I mean,
guys, shall I meet you at the beach? I just want to go explore the market a bit. It's kind of fascinating. This is so different from home.
oh,
I mean,
no,
I don't want to drag.
Don't walk off on your own. I mean,
Hey,
that would
you
be
just
really
complained
bad.
about shopping, and I want to shop for a moment. Go swim,
yeah,
and I'll meet you at the beach. Is there enough? Where do I go for the beach? Eclipse, point. Tell me where.
That way.
So I don't get. So I head that way, and the market's this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can find you.
Do
I
some
can
more
scry on you if I
shopping.
really need to.
So,
Go swim, and I'll
Eclipse, would you rather
wander
shop
because
or
I
swim
feel like
with
I don't want to.
Farewell?
I probably don't want to shop with Glory because I think she's gonna buy really random stuff that I I'm not sure.
I place a hand on Cora's shoulder and go, I've really got to get better at these jokes. And I cast Death Ward on her.
That tingles.
So for the next 8 hours, if anything reduces you to 0, you will instead drop to 1.
Okay.
Nice.
Thank you. Where are you planning to go, Gloria? Are you shopping?
Oh, I'll shop on my way down to the beach if you don't want me with you. I just thought it would be nice to have a girl time.
No, I'm curious. I'll wander with you, but this is what I'm looking for, and I explained to her the stuff as we walk down into the market.
Should be
Okay.
fine.
I'm going to split this into stuff you see while you're together, and then stuff you see as you're. So first of all, as you're walking
I'm happy to
through,
Oh, sorry. You mean where we're apart? I get you.
Yeah.
So the stuff you see while you're together. Okay. So as you're walking through with Storm at Sea, a merchant comes out with a single arrow. The arrow is ornate. It's got scroll work down the length of the shell. It's got a tip to it that's almost like a long razor-like fleur-de-lis. And he says, "Do you think that your mother would like this?" And the Storm at Sea picks up the arrow and goes, "It is some of the finest work I've ever seen. Surely there is no greater arrow. It is no enchantment." He goes, "No. Well, it has a residuum in the tip, of course, to get rid of resistances. But no, other than that, it is just simply art. Surely it has no. Alas, my mother only fires simple arrows. The bow itself, again, allows to get rid of magical resistances. But the arrows themselves are simple arrows. That's how it has always been. Very occasionally, she has had to make a specific arrow to take down a specific beast. This is meant for a hero. Now she is a and he hands it back, and the merchant turns around to you and says, "Would anybody else get?" And mechanically, this is a +2 arrow.
Oof. But it's just one singular arrow.
It's a single arrow, but with the right ability, it can be disgusting.
Yeah. It's the singular work of an entire lifetime of an individual because they're that hard to make.
Yeah.
It's less so for arrows, but this arrow, it'll give you a +2 to hit on top of everything else, and it'll even stack with the bow. So normally if a ranger has got a ridiculous spell that they deliver through an arrow, there's a few of them, then you kind of, and you absolutely have to hit the boss. You want to be packing one of these arrows. And hello, Minion. Welcome back.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of other things. You see things that you've got already. There's brooms of flying. You do see a lovely tabaxi-style cloak of Elvenkind. A merchant comes out and completely gets the wrong end of the stick when he reveals to Farewell a wand of create or destroy water. And you can already do this.
Farewell will nod and smile, and he'll run through the drills that he's been taught when
Very British.
not being talked into buying things like a polite person, and just nods and smiles and doesn't engage, and then tries to back away very quickly when he can.
There's another guy comes out with a whip, and this whip is a +1 magical item and works like a grappling hook as well. So you don't have to do a skill check to get it to wrap around something. It does that automatically. There's also a +1 bolas that when you're not interested in the whip, he pulls out the bolas and says, "This is also enchanted, so that it aids you in seeking time." It's +1. The only other things that stand out for you, there is a wand of produce flame, which is effectively just like a firelighter, but it's it's well made. There's and anybody who wields that will have the produce flame cantrip. There's an instrument that gets brought out, and they say, "Come on, see, you want it. Come on, you haven't performed in such a long time. Come on, you know what it does." And this particular one, anybody who would like to make an Arcana check and try and find out what it is.
Glory. Oh, I have good intelligence. I remembered.
Arcana is Glory's thing. I can do that.
Yep. 9.
17.
12 plus 6, that's 18.
Okay. Yep. You. Yeah. Sorry, minion. We were talking about the warlock spells being quite high after all.
Thank you, minion. But yes, when we're in combat, that would be very useful.
It will come in useful, so keep those points.
Save those points until we're in combat, please.
Or just save them up for a wild magic search, and screw them over. Both is fun.
No! Save them up and give us loot.
Yes! The loot bomb!
Loot bomb. A loot bomb is once per session, so it can only be used once. So this one here is... it has to be wielded by a bard, and a bard of some skill. You can see that a lot of the runes that are in there are effectively making up a song in their own right. These runes are very dangerous if you don't put them in the right order and the right attunement with itself. So this one, that this instrument, wielded by the right person, can allow them to fly, turn invisible, levitate themselves or someone else, or protect themselves from certain creatures. It can be used to call plant life to come and wrap themselves around other creatures. It can be used to attune with animals who hear the music so that you can command them. And it can also reveal creatures who are invisible. Moreover than that, there's there's an arcane joke written into it, which basically it has a heavy metal option. But when you pick up it's a lute. Yeah, it's like a mandolin. Yeah, and if you pick up the mandolin and rock and roll style twat somebody across the face, it does so using your casting stats rather than anything else. Basically, it uses the shillelagh ability if you twat someone across the face with it.
Does it look like something that Bebop would use?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. A mandolin is normally quite delicate. You don't know how he'd put that into his particular style, but you have a feeling he might be up for the challenge.
Yes, that does sound like something Bebop would do.
I mean, because he's more drums and random things. I don't know if a lute is.
Yeah, but they have a few different instruments in the band.
That's true. That's true. Maybe not him, but maybe one of the others in the band.
Yeah.
What do you think? How much is it?
For you, only and he says 100 and then states something, and then Eclipse kind of turns to you and says, 100 plat.
So 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I keep walking. I have 170 pounds, apparently, gold in my thing. I don't know how. We keep looting loads of rage looting stuff, and I seem to have no money at all.
That's because we have a lot of items.
Yeah, I know. We're just we never actually make
You
any money.
don't sell much of your items.
Well,
You're like, a scroll, we'll use that sometime.
We are the very definition of asset rich. Liquid or cash
absolutely. Here's bag of
we have liquidity issues.
Yeah, I just
if you want, you can try and exchange for another item if you have an item.
This is not something that Cora thinks is important in comparison to the other things she's looking for. It's like, oh, that'd be cool. That is too expensive. I have 170 gold. I'm gonna spend it on stuff for Freetown.
Okay. There is
Bebop is good.
So before we go to the split off, where some of you go to the beach and the others go to the market, you do get one guy who is there saying, "My last set, and I will be selling these for only let's see, let's be generous, and we will say for only 200 drakes. That's gold. For 200 drakes, I will be selling my last rapid dash horseshoes." And he has a set of 4 horseshoes that he's going out. He goes, "The sod flats are very pretty, especially this time of year, but they're also very long. You get bored of them very easily. Just put this onto your steed, and you shall be carried at such a speed." These are horseshoes of speed.
Yeah, no.
That's it. Yep. Sorry, that's what came up on the tape.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you divvy up, and Farewell and Eclipse take the coastal path down to the nearby beaches. And you can see that as the sun is starting to dip, it's not quite dusk. There are a number of tabaxi and other races as well that are going in the direction of the beach as well. Other people are starting to find their little dens, their little cliques around the city. You can see that there are people kind of sitting down at what they consider to be their table. You know how it is? Cafe culture. A lot of the most prized tables are out in the streets. And you can see that a little bit in... I'm going back to my time visiting my family in Italy, where, you make sure you sit in a place where you can see your friends passing by, and you invite them over for a chat as you're sitting there, eating and drinking, enjoying each other's company. Cora and Glory end up wandering into a market. This is bustling. It has everything from spices and various other delicacies, sweet items, to sorry, just distracted by chat. To the types of things that you're talking about, Cora. They either have very minor enchantments, or they are just the product of great art. The first place you go up to has a particular game that's being played, and it's effectively liar's dice. And they are selling these sets of liar's dice, and with these beautiful carved cups. The dice all seem to be roughly the same. There's a slight stylization with the numbers on the dice, but the cups themselves have different, again, bas-relief carvings on the outside of them. Most of them seem to be made out of bone or rare woods, and the reliefs on them are everything from battles to clearly depiction of children's tales, to some of them slightly racy as well. So some of them with beautiful figures dancing things from some of the more risque tales of the local culture. And yeah, that's the first thing. And yeah, it's Liar's Dice, Perudo, call it what you will, is effectively that game.
I don't know. What do you think, Gloria? I'm trying to get something unusual. I don't know if this is just another gambling game. Maybe something that...
It's different from what they play in Freetown and Ostgol as a whole. I'm not sure if it's something that would be good for the Freetowners. And,
no, I think I want something that's either artistic, just something that's beautiful and different, or is useful that hasn't been thought of back home, or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Something
Tools,
that
maybe
has a purpose, that either brings joy as a purpose or is useful as a purpose.
What was it he said? Quality of life?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So the second thing that you see is a what seems to be a mirror in a painted wooden frame. And a little tabaxi girl, runs up to one of the mirrors, puts the mirror face down so the mirror's on the table, closes her eyes for a second, brings the mirror back up, and when she looks at it, it's no longer a mirror, but it seems to have like the shiny mirror surface, but there's a picture on it. And the picture seems to be a very, very photorealistic panorama. She laughs and shows one of her friends, then puts the mirror flat on the table again, closes her eyes, pulls the mirror back up, and this time it is a rushing seascape.
Can't hear you, Kate. You're muted.
I need that. Excuse me. What is that?
Oh, these are path mirrors, and they are images from wanderings of various Nahu. It's always a different one each time. I like to see.
So you're not making that picture. You're not thinking of that picture.
It's somebody else's. You activate it by, and she shows you. You put it face down so that no one can see it. You close your eyes and then you tip it up. And this time it is a rushing snowscape with a bear charging towards the viewer.
Wow. Okay, that's different. And I instinctively go for the locket that Farewell gave Cora, which has a similar thing of images, like captured. How much for one of these?
For you, pretty lady, certainly 15 drakes would be.
15? How many does she have? Just one?
No, she's got a stall full of
Hold on, maths.
bear in mind, for a lot of people, this is many weeks' wages. You're richer than the average bear.
I know. That's why when we talked about the how much debt Smoke was in, Cora was like, "Holy fuck, that's a lifetime of work she is never getting out of that debt."
Literal lifetime. But for Glory, she's like, "Yeah, it's fairly reasonable."
Yeah,
it's like, no,
that's reasonable.
That will keep you indebted for the rest of your natural
she's
life.
never getting out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incidentally, if somebody was doing that, if anybody did need to get that much platinum, they would effectively have to become top of the charts. They'd have to do the whole kind of gladiator, are you not entertained thing, and get themselves a really rich patron to start throwing them money per performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to
And
become
by
the
Glory
PewDiePie of
standards,
bards.
That's a couple of months of spending money as a child. You know.
Okay, so I think Cora is going to buy. Just reminding myself of my
buy 2 or 3
backstory.
of them. Do they fit in our bags of holding, or do we have to carry them?
What, the mirrors?
Yeah.
Yeah, they fit in there. Each mirror is about, there's varying sizes of mirrors from like A5 to A4.
Oh.
So, yeah.
She's buying 3 of them.
Sure. Yeah, mark it off.
Oh, she's buying 4 of them.
Okay. Yep, mark it off. You now have 4 path mirrors.
40, 50, 60.
Yeah.
60. Yeah, okay, I'll write that down. 4 path mirrors.
Yeah.
Cool.
The next stall
She plays with them a bit.
has a bunch of black velvet masks stitched with silver thread. Some of them have black feathers attached to them. Others have tiny, tiny little pearls that kind of trace around where the eyes are in these masks. Some of the masks only cover the eyes, and some of them cover the whole face.
Do you like these, Glory? These seem like your kind of thing.
Yeah, they're very pretty. I could see myself wearing them to one of the balls.
And the woman at the stall is looking at you kind of quizzically. Are you from around?
Oh no, I'm from Scholara. Pleased to meet you. Glory.
see. Okay. Yes. Very well. I did not know you had the same bowls as us. Very-
Oh, similar enough, I do believe. Tell me, is there any magic on them? Or are they just pretty?
No, when you wear these, you make them magic.
I've thought something else that Cora's gonna keep an eye out for.
Sure.
But I want Glory to be able to look around as well.
Cora, what do you think of this one? And Glory will hold up one of the ones with a feather. Is it my style? Or should I go for the pearls?
No, I think I'm looking around on the table for the boldest, biggest, that seems too subtle. You're glorious, remember? And I grab.
So you're going the Mardi Gras version. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Glory. She sets off fireworks when she walks through a door. I'm gonna try and find an amazing the really cool one. I'm like, come on, if you're gonna wear a mask.
Are all mostly black, but you find one of them where there is it's a black velvet mask. It's got a giant black plume feather that goes over the top, and it's one of those feathers that kind of cups. It's that big. It kind of it's kind of got a crescent cross section, and it kind of cups the back of the head, and it has braided silver thread outlining the mask, and underneath one of the eyes is a giant mother of pearl teardrop that has been what looks like deliberately shattered. So they've kind of carved it into a teardrop, deliberately broke it, and then put it on the mask.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm just really nice.
I feel like, you might be behind a mask, but they still need to know that you're glorious.
Yes, indeed. How much for this one?
The tabaxi looks at you, and with as much purr as she can put in her voice, she says, "For you, that will be 1 drake or 1
1 drake. Okay.
She's overselling it so much, but she knows you're gonna pay 1 drake.
Yeah, that's not too much. Here you go.
You give her the drake, and she looks slightly disappointed as she takes the drake and says, "Have fun."
You're cutting out a little bit, Simon. I don't know
Yeah,
how to
sorry,
make yours sound better.
So,
we
yeah,
need to test some more things before next week.
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
But I'm generally impressed by Zoom. It's been a lot better.
We just need to
so-
figure out our levels.
Videos are
Disappointed that
so
you
much
didn't take the
better.
kiss option. She takes the drake
or a
and
kiss.
says,
we didn't hear that.
it.
"Oh, you didn't
No.
hear that?
No,
oh,
it's
she's
a drake
sorry. She
or
says,
blah, blah, blah.
She says 1 drake or 1 kiss."
Oh.
With that.
Sorry, my dearest. I already have someone, and then she hands over the drake.
And she goes, "But of course, mistress, have fun." And she retires back. And yes, you've got this big ornate masquerade mask that's made of black velvet.
Fancy mask.
I did actually roll that up in art objects, but I was like, oh, actually, there's something I can tie that to. So the final thing is a set of lockets of all different colors. Different materials. And you can see that a tabaxi that is wearing what seems to be morning gear, morning garb, walks up, buys one of these lockets with a silver coin, with no discussion between her and the seller, picks up a wooden locket, clasps her hand around it and closes her eyes, and smiles and then says, "Thank you," and walks off. They appear to be enchanted.
Interesting.
Are you curious? I'm curious. I don't know if this is what I want, but I want to know what it is.
There's something about those. There has to be.
Excuse me.
Hi, yes, my halfling friend. How can I?
We're curious what these are.
This is an old tabaxi. You have a feeling he was probably black in his greater days, but now he's kind of like a speckled charcoal, and he has kind of mutton chop kitty mutton chop mane coming out of his jawbone, and he says, "These are lockets of remembrance. They are blessed by the priestesses. You can clasp one of them. Think of those who have left us, and they remind you. They aid your memory. They don't allow you to perfectly recall, but they allow you to recall the fun. They are blessed by our priestesses who are attuned with the Raven Queen."
How much?
Because there's only ever one cost of such. 1 silver.
One
Of
silver
any denomin-
coin?
1 silver coin of any denomination. But you
Right.
can only own one.
Is this one? Do I own this? I mean, I is this one? And I hold out mine. Is it the same thing, Simon?
It's similar. Yeah, it's fairly similar.
Right. Well, it's not for me. This one's mine. This is for someone
You
else.
can buy one for somebody else, but they can only own one.
I'm pretty sure they don't have one of these, and I hand over a silver coin.
You have an amulet of remembrance. Minor talisman.
The last thing, and I don't want to take up too much time, because I want the others to have their
6
chance.
minutes.
Yeah. Could I, while I'm wandering, I'm going to look around for some very exotic, or at least unusual exotic. Doesn't have to be expensive, just something very different. Fabric. That
Bolts of
she-
cloth, things like that. All the things
Yeah.
you'd expect at a bazaar, you can get a supply of. Just list what you have, and I'll give you a cost list.
And
She's-
Glory will help you.
She's getting something for Lavinia. For her seems to either for her to make something for herself and the family, or to make stuff for people in Freetown and sell it for money. But she wants to find something that she wouldn't be
Glory,
able to
look
get
at that
in
pattern.
Freetown.
That is really nice.
There is so many things here. I will. Well, I don't have a huge amount of money left. Well, I mean, I do. Let's say
thing
she would
I
spend up
used
to
to-
50 gold. Maybe
Sure.
that's
You have
expensive.
50 gold of
Yeah.
mixed threads and textiles.
Yeah, let's say that.
Sweetheart, if you're gonna buy fabric, you should put a little bit more. Here, take these. And she gives you 5 platinum, just like, here, buy a few more.
You're muted, Kate.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
Very good.
Is that sorry? Is that I'm so excited? Is that 500 or 50? Wait a minute. 5 platinum is 50.
5 platinum is 50. Yeah. So
So
she's
it's
just
another
doubled.
50.
Yeah, you now have 100 gold's worth
Well,
of.
Great, it's
materials.
just it's not. Oh my goodness. Well, some of this is for you to make. For you.
Exactly.
One was a gift, and they
I want
would
you to
never
pick
spend
out
this much.
whatever
They
you
have not
like.
this much. Okay. Thank
One
you.
thing I
I'm
used to
gonna
do
cut
as a
over
child
to-
is I would feel the fabric when I.
I'm gonna
picked
cut
out
over
it for
to-
my dresses.
I'm going to cut over to Eclipse and Phil.
Yeah, we're gonna
Wow.
wander towards the beach if we've done. Just so you
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
So we'll meet.
So, Farewell, you walk onto a deep red, almost dark terracotta sand. It's warm under your feet, and you can see as many of the tabaxi ones, they get onto this quite flat and quite far beach. Very shallow gradient going to the sea. There's no dunes. This is mostly kind of salt flats. And as they get out from the razor-like grass that come out of the salt flats to the beach proper where the grass stops, they break into a run. And you can see how the biology of the tabaxi allow them to dash at incredible speeds. And you can see that kind of running and frolicking. And there seems to be games of catch and other such things, very cat-like behaviors from the tabaxi on this beach. Others are racing to the sea where they can dive into the waves and finally get rid of the humidity and heat that assails them. you like to do?
Cool.
Just describe what you guys are doing.
Did you used to play here as a child, Eclipse?
Yes, we used to play all over the island. We were free to pretty much go wherever we wanted.
But you were always here.
Yes, on the island mostly.
Yeah. Oh, was it nice?
Yes.
I mean, I never stayed in one place more than a month or two. So.
I mean, we mostly stay in one place unless our parents are traveling for whatever reason. We stay here until we reach of an age where we can go on our own journey.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I like that very much. And Farewell will reach into his pack and he'll take out two little sort of like glass jars, and he'll break up some of the salt flat with his foot and just collect some of the dirt up. Put that one away and then begin moving a bit more towards the water. So do you swim? I don't know if you swim.
Yes, I swim.
Okay, because you know the smaller ones traditionally don't
yes,
like water.
normal cats don't like water, but tabaxi quite partial to it, like other big
see
cats.
that there are tabaxi frolicking in the waves.
Well, you know, it's a personal thing. You know, I like to be sure.
Yes.
And as they're walking, Farewell just put a hand to his collar and will mutter a few words, and the armor sort of click, 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 all goes back forwards into that sort of like thing. And he's wearing sort of like a pair of sort of just like fabric sort of
like linen trews.
Linen trews like 3/4 length, and a sort of very simple shirt. And he'll put the armor into his bag of holding, and we'll walk up into about his knees. Oh, saltier than I expected. That's weird.
I mean, it's the sea.
Well, no, I mean, Ostergold has the sea, but it's not the same. It's higher, it's different, it feels different.
Yeah, it's more protected by the walls as well. You don't get the same sort of salt air going through. And also there's less industrial stuff here, so you smell more of the sea than you would in Ostergold, which is a much more industrial city.
I meant more that it's bittier here. But yes, that's also true. You can feel it. It goes through you and it's on your skin. And he'll take the other jar and just a little bit of water and pop that in, put that back in his bag. Right. We should do something for when the other two get here. Because
Castle. No.
I mean,
Nick, can you do me a quick spellcasting roll, please?
Okay. 18.
18. The driftwood pendant around your neck suddenly seems to flare with energy. You have a feeling you could walk on top of this water.
Ooh, that's weird. Hold on, 1 second. And Farewell sort of like lifts, does that sort of awkward thing, you know, where like the person like tries to like lift their foot out of the water and then sort of like tries to stand on it and then lift the other foot out of the water.
Yep. Eclipse. Farewell's standing perfectly on top of the water.
Oh my god, Jesus.
Yeah. His little toes wiggling on top of the surface of the water. Huh.
Oh, very well. That's, you can walk on water?
I'm not sure how. I don't actually... Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
It's kind of strange. It's like you can feel a density just beneath the waves. So where the waves are kind of rippling, it's not like land that's rippling, because that would be really weird and you'd trip up all the time. It's like your foot sinks in like about an inch, and then after that, there's like this great density, and you just feel yourself floating on top of the water.
Like, yeah. Oh, it's nice. But yeah. Hold on. I think I've got something that I can do with this. Hold on. When it comes to the sandcastles, we could probably actually make a castle.
Right.
I mean,
and I assume we're gonna reveal that next time.
yeah. Because I
Looking at the
realized.
time.
Oh,
Kind of wondering what Nick is going towards.
No, I said I assume we're gonna reveal the castle.
yeah, we
next
can do it next time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We
Yeah.
can do that next time. But yeah, I kind of wonder where Nick is going, so he can tell me off stream. So next session, you guys will be returning to Osterdahl.
Yeah.
I'll allow a
Yes.
preamble, obviously, because I want to give Nick and Corinne some time, and then a little bit time as you guys are on the beach and kind of discussing your next step forward. But then I'm going to be kind of forcing you guys to go back.
That's fine.
You're not gonna let us faff around in a random city.
You've had your time. You've had your time.
Oh,
I was
we
only
must-
going to give you.
We
Yeah,
must have the dragon attack.
yeah. It's like, yeah.
Oh God, he's mercering us. What do you mean you don't want to deal with my plot? Fuck you, here's a dragon attack.
Everything's fine. I can flirt with the dragon.
Only it's a female. Do you
That
think
is
that
true.
Glory's gonna
If
gonna
it's a
flirt?
female presenting dragon.
Yeah.
You roll a
are you
natural
gonna-
20
are
and go,
gonna
hang on,
flirt
you're a
with male
dude, never
dragon?
mind.
Like,
Okay, so yes, we'll have a little bit more of this character building and character bonding, but then after that, I want to keep the story going.
Yeah.
So,
Fuck you,
yeah.
we've decided to become pirates.
yeah. Alright, now. Goodbye.
What's not? There's story going. We're just we're
I
tourists
can just
now.
imagine you guys. I can just imagine you guys picking 2 bricks out of your bag of holding, throw it into the sea before the DM notices, jump on, sail away, and just
Yeah.
flip off the DM.
Well,
Camera watches you go into the distance.
into the
And
sunset,
that's it.
yeah. Oh.
We do that every time you drop out of the stream. We're like,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
done.
No,
like
we're
that.
out to sea now. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody. And
Oh, no.
I was going to hand over to Kate for
Oh.
follows and mentions. So
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. Yes, anyone watching, hello, thank you. We appreciate you. We have. I'm not looking at the right thing. Recent events. That's what I want. So yeah, we had El Needs Times earlier in the stream. I don't think they are currently in the stream, but hopefully watching
Nope.
a VOD. So thank you again for all of those bits. I don't know what. Hold on. What are we up to now?
119 from El Needs.
They are working their way to the number
yep,
one spot.
6 bits at a time. 6 must be a lucky number. It's
Yeah.
yeah. We're
But
loving
yeah,
it.
they're getting there,
It
which
is
is
nice.
amazing and awesome, and we appreciate it. And we, I think that's the main thing. Oh, we had a follow. I've Minnow. Oh goodness, I can never say these names. Ivo Minikowski. Minikowski. Thank you
Minikowski, yeah.
so much for the follow. And anyone else who is watching the VODs and stuff, we thank you very much. And we will figure out Zoom a little bit more. I'm sorry for there was a few times things popped up on your screen. It's because I couldn't capture the window and had to capture the desktop, and it's my main one, and so everything keeps opening. And if I hold something else, it suddenly disappears. But it didn't do it very much.
We-
So
But
we'll try
overall,
and figure it
Zoom
out.
was better.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Zoom was
Nick
better,
dropped out,
so,
but I
yeah.
think that was an internet thing more than a Zoom thing.
Yeah, I
That
don't
was
think
a
that was a
local
Zoom.
thing. That was
Yeah.
a local internet thing.
Yeah.
So we'll,
Okay,
we'll
so
figure
I'm
out
very
our
happy with
balances a bit more, and I'll figure out how to capture it
Also,
properly.
shout out to Högskolan West for providing us with the account for the Zoom.
They might not know that they did
Tell them.
that. Yeah, it's not like
Thankfully, no one
sponsored.
knows what that is. The only
Yeah.
people who know are on the stream, so we're fine.
But we're happy if
so-
Zoom wants to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
give us
finally,
some monies
it is
to-
a long weekend, and we haven't
Oh, we've
sorted
lost
out
Nick again.
our.
Oh, no.
Oop.
Carry on.
It is a long weekend, and we haven't figured out our schedule for this week coming, but with a long weekend, I'm going to probably get very bored very soon. I have more one-shots for the deputation crew, so that is the Silent Wars. So I will be pinging people tomorrow morning to see whether or not any of our viewers and players would like to continue going. Sekian, for example, who is been watching us today. Thank you very much, Sean. If you're up for it, we'll be doing another Silent Wars soon. There's also potential for us doing more of Star Wars Legends of the Sprawl, and that's with Ed, Paul, Corinne, and Alicia. For more of their particular craziness as we take a game that's actually normally held in this flat that we have now put online, because if we're going to be doing it over Discord and Zoom and what have you, I have a feeling I'll be signing up to Zoom very soon, is to put it on stream. We're going to be doing it online. Finally, the lovely Rodrigo, who played Aiden in the Benefactor up until the point where he was going to emigrate to Australia, but then found out that he had to get stuck in El Salvador, the poor thing, because of this, COVID craziness. So he's obviously very bored right now. He's not going to come back to the Benefactor, but he was interested in maybe playing a couple of Star Wars one-shots. So we're thinking of putting together a second crew. So we have players. I'm going to point in those two directions and point to Felicia and Corinne, who always seem to like the games that I run, which is great.
It's not like we have a life anyway, so.
No.
Oh, come on, no, it's because you like my games. I need this. Don't take this away from me.
I'm kidding.
I'm bored. You're bored, and I'm here. That's all it is. But yeah, so there's a possibility of us starting a second crew. Obviously, priority is going to be given for people who aren't in our games at the moment. So I'm willing to put together a ragtag team.
Yes, I am in every single game. Someone else can.
Yes, someone else. Corinne can mod. Corinne can mod and play Animal Crossing. She can do this. So if you're interested in playing some Star Wars Edge of the Empire, I am very willing to have some more of our viewers play along with us. There's obviously some conditions. We have the Chaotic Neutral Games golden rules that you have to adhere to. And it's always a bit of a danger when we're bringing viewers in that they're not going to adhere to that. So normally
all the rules are on a Discord, though, right? So
they are indeed. Yes.
Yeah. So come and talk on Discord is the easiest thing.
Yeah, and if you're a new viewer, then we'll have to get to know you a bit first. But existing viewers, you are very, very welcome. It would be preferable if you have a copy of either the Genesis system or any of the Star Wars books yourself. If not, I will host a getting to know the system kind of private stream, private get-together before we do so. If not, then I will open the doors to our other players, including Kate, who's played a rickshaw droid once in Star Wars Edge of Empire, and I think you wanted to learn the system a bit more, didn't you?
I definitely don't know the system, really. I mean, we played it a bit, and I'm curious to try it out some more. I'm happy to do some one-shots. It's just figuring out times and when, but I'm again not doing a huge amount, trying to figure out doing more streaming. So
well, I was bearing in mind what you said today in your stream, Kate, and that is that that you want to do more streaming and things like that. So I don't want to tie up your time, but it's one shot, so it's not. I'm not tying your time up in a particular schedule.
I'm up for trying it all out again. So, and I haven't managed. I need to watch the VODs of the last few because I wasn't producing them, so I didn't see them because I was doing other streams and home games. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that.
Take a look at them. I mean, you can watch them on YouTube because I have exported them to YouTube, and you can watch them at like 1.25.
Hint, everyone else watching. Our VODs are on YouTube. And if you spot something that's not there, let us know.
Yeah, the Star Wars ones are really chaotic. They're fantastic.
Way too long, and we need to round off.
Yes, we need to round off. But either way, there are more things coming. So we will put out a schedule, and you can join us again. If not, if we do end up deciding to take a rest, I doubt it, you can still catch us Thursday, 8 p.m. UK time. No, Friday, 8 p.m. God, that's been a while since we did Thursdays. Yeah. Friday, 8 p.m. UK time next week. Good.
Details downstairs.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.